Alrighty, you guys ready?
I'm less nervous, but I feel less prepared.
Because this could be anything.
Alrighty, here we are, podcast number 2.
Yay!
This is exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the same lineup as before. I am the judgmental critter, and I got with me
I'm Allison.
from the YouTube channel Allison Are You?
The very active YouTube channel,
Which,
Allison Are You?
Listen, it's quality over quantity.
Absolutely not.
I love your work. I'm your, number 1 fan.
Be sure to check out my DeviantArt page where I also don't upload.
And we also got...
Hi, I'm Twiins Iink. You should know who I am. I'm the one that sounds like Critter, but we're different people.
And this is our second podcast. You guys excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I took a little peek initially at your video asking people for for the Q&A stuff.
Yes.
But I didn't really read the comments. So it just kind of glanced at it.
You wanted to be a surprise.
But yeah, I don't know what we're gonna be talking about. So
I saw one comment, though, I think was just the word bread.
Yeah! Yes!
And I'm like, why?
I liked that comment because I appreciated the random simplicity
It
of
was
it.
a little waste of comment. It's doing nothing. It's not even a question. I don't know. I was like, bread? Like, there was no question mark at
It
the
wasn't
end.
even any punctuation if I remember correctly. So yeah, what we're going to be doing today, I'm excited. It was something someone suggested. I'll have their comment up on the screen again right here, and I'll mention you in the description. But they suggested us talking about crazy RWBY theories.
ooh,
And I'm like, I don't think that'll fill a whole podcast, so we're also going to do a Q&A.
nice.
So, I'm excited. Let's do this. And we're going to kick off strong with one of my own wacky RWBY theories.
Oh, okay.
This is the theory that talk wasn't working for Salem, she was working for Ozpin.
Ooh.
Oh, do you have evidence for that?
Yeah, because so talk is like, my master said, I don't know why. British isn't Southern. My master said, I need to kill you because your eyes, but you don't got them no more. And that was the best I can do. That is the best I can do. But,
You're the Grim Reaper.
You're the Grim Reaper. Y'all's the Grim Reaper.
Everyone dislikes and leaves.
Bad talk impression. No good. Shit podcast. But no, she's like, my master told me to kill you because of shit and whatever. But then later, Cinder's like, before that scene even happens, Cinder's like, I've been instructed not to kill you. So, or RWBY, rather. So, if Salem isn't the one hunting down the silver-eyed people, what if it was Oz? And then that'd give him, an actual reason for us to not like him as an audience, rather than you had secrets, but had very viable reasons for keeping your secrets.
So how come in Volume 4, when they were like, but that silver-eyed girl exists, Salem was like, you're right. Tyrion, stop pursuing the Spring Maiden and go after the silver-eyed girl.
Alive. Bring her back to me alive.
Why?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
We don't know why she wants her alive.
Okay.
But Talk was instructed to kill her.
Fascinating. That certainly fixes the gaping plot hole of, for some reason, I'm not allowed to kill RWBY because I'm also never allowed to interact with her because my grudge is verbal only. Actions never equate to what she wants.
It's like that thing where you hate someone in school, but you only talk shit about them. You never actually interact
It's like
with them.
that thing where the writers want Cinder to do specific things throughout the volume, but they insist on having her say that she wants to do other things.
So, about the theory.
Yes.
I think that would hold a little bit more water if Oz had a good motivation for...
Yeah.
because here's the thing. It doesn't make sense for either Salem or Oz to be after silver-eyed warriors because... So Oz has RWBY enter his school.
Yeah.
And never makes an attempt on her life, and is only ever supportive to her. Salem is like, don't forget to not kill her, and so neither of them really. It could literally be Miss Malachite.
Yeah.
Behind it all. And that would make more sense than either of these proposed parties, because neither of them have acted like they want Silver-Eyed Warriors dead. The only Silver-Eyed Warrior that Salem has killed was Ruby's mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Do you think
also,
they'll retcon that?
what? No, I don't.
Okay.
I
That's it. That was
They're
it.
just gonna keep going forward, man.
I'm just gonna keep trying.
Let's just keep moving on and
Or they'll do
working as we go.
their favorite thing of retcon it and then retcon it back.
Yeah.
Have they done
But
that?
slightly different.
I don't want to derail too much, but have they done that before?
I'm just thinking of Salem being motherly, Salem being hyper alpha bitch because she needs to scream a lot this volume, I guess, and then going back to being motherly suddenly. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, this doesn't come across as her revealing different faces around
Right,
different people.
right.
It just feels like inconsistent writing.
I do think that they could pull that off if they were careful.
Yes.
If they could pull it off and try to make it like she has like scary mood swings, like that would be a very frightening character to deal with. Of you never know what.
Am I gonna get nice
Yeah.
Salem? Am I gonna get mean Salem?
Yeah, but anyways.
Also, I think they confirmed in Amity Arena that Talk was working for Salem. Is she in it?
Well,
She's like just recently was put in it, and I think it's been confirmed that my theory is wrong.
What does she do?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't play the
Is
game
she another
anymore.
legendary? Gotta have 17 legendaries.
It's like
Waste
Pokemon.
all your money to get your favorite waifu, a JPEG of your favorite waifu. Just make it your desktop and don't spend money on
I
this
just
game.
I just look at the animation of the desktop thing, and then I'm like, okay, that's it, and then I turn the game back on. So that was theory. I
So,
figured I'd start with my
yeah.
own
your own theory that was immediately disproven
Yes.
by the creators.
So I just like we might make fun of some theories you subscribe to, but remember, I had that theory.
They can't be worse than me.
All valid.
So let's move on. I took suggestions from people, but I also just brought in some that are like pretty common.
Okay.
For example, the theory that Neo will betray Cinder, and I don't know why people think this.
I mean, is it a theory at this point, or is it just foreshadowing?
I don't think it's foreshadowed at all. I don't think she would betray Cinder.
She seemed pretty grumpy with Cinder at
She's
in her.
grumpy all the time.
Let me fucking finish. Why you interrupt? At her last on-screen appearance of Volume 7, she's like, "Behold, I have succeeded in obtaining the lamp, and you got your ass kicked." And Cinder was like, "Great, mine, yoink!" And then, I don't know, Neo looked upset.
I don't know.
I feel like the writers don't wholly intend for Neo to stick around for the long haul. I don't think it's gonna be Volume 8, and Neo stabs Cinder in the back, and then
A lot of people
joins
thought.
Team RWBY and becomes the new best good guy, because that's what everyone wants.
Yeah.
If anything, I think it would be betrayal and then immediately jettisoned from the show. It's either that or she'll die.
I
don't
expect her
think
to die.
I don't think Neo will last to the end of RWBY.
Yeah.
Personally, what about you?
I always was under the impression that Neo was not going to stick around on Team Cinder. I don't know if I'm picking up on, Neo's a tricky one because we're working purely with body language.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do think that we're, overanalyzing her because of that. I feel like... I feel like we might be reading into things too much, but I was always under the impression that Neo is not going to stick around. I don't know if that means Neo's going to betray Cinder, or she's going to join Team RWBY, which I don't think so, and I hope not, because that cast is
Do you want a 14th girl to be in the main cast?
Hey, listen, she's very cute. I like her outfits, but I don't want another player to contend with when we've barely managed to develop the people we have right now.
Also, it'd be like, hey, Yang, Oscar, Jean, Ren, and Nora, look, it's the girl that kicked your ass and tried to kill you. She's on our team now.
I would much rather, honestly, if we're going to have a, a team switch character, I would much rather that be Emerald and Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least one of them. I say both of them because I would like for Mercury to get to do literally one thing. And maybe have, like, one character trait. Like,
More
that
than
would,
just being a gray smirk on screen.
like, I just think it would be really cool for him to be, like, a person. So I think that having, like, an element of, like, ooh, betrayal.
I think if
maybe that could make it a story.
If Emerald
for
switched
them.
sides, that could offer something to give Mercury a reason to exist.
Yeah.
You know? Give...
And it would help give, like, Cinder something. Like, it'd be like when Azula lost Tylee and
May.
Well, that would be interesting because we don't even know if Cinder would care.
Yeah.
True.
Because she has made no effort to reconnect with those two, so we don't know how valuable she sees them as long as she does have a henchman.
And
Maybe
let's be honest, Neo's way stronger than they are.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe it could be interesting if Neo left. And then Cinder was like, well, my old lackeys, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
That could maybe finally lead to Cinder developing.
Yeah. Or it could be like a thing where Emerald and Mercury show up and they're like, Cinder, we want to join you. And she's like, no, you just disappointed me. I got Ice Cream Girl now. And then later Ice Cream Girl dies or betrays her or whatever. And then she's like, Emerald, Mercury, you want to come back? And they're like, no, fuck you. You didn't. You turned us back. You only want us to know that you got nothing.
I hope they come back in Volume 8, at least, like, briefly. I just want them to get new outfits. Mostly Mercury. His outfit really sucks.
Really terrible.
Yeah.
It's very much that Monty's favorite thing of, I put a lot of effort into the cute girls, and then I designed a guy, and I put him in a shirt and pants, and then I put a thing on his belt,
Yeah.
so that there was something going on his legs. And it's like, so that's not horrible, but it's not great.
It was fine when he was literally a cardboard cutout standing behind
Cinder.
But now we're pretending that cardboard cutout is a character, so yeah.
Do you guys
an
remember-
outfit would be nice.
Do you guys remember his concept art that they had at the end of one of the episodes?
I mean,
One of
I
they're
don't
all
usually stick around for.
they were all equally bad. Like one just had like the same thing, but the collar was zipped up all the way, and like another one he had like a yellow shirt. And I'm
Ew.
like, ugh.
Oh, that doesn't sound too
No,
bad
it
to
was
me.
a bad shade of
Oh,
yellow.
I'll take your word for it. I guess I just liked the idea of him like wearing like his color.
Gold accents would look pretty good on him.
But it was an accent.
But
It
yeah,
was like
that's the
90%.
Okay. So yeah, I think Neo might, at the very least, not keep hanging out with Cinder.
I honestly expect her to die before any kind of betrayal would
Do you
happen.
really think that they'd kill her off? She's so popular.
Who cares? They also swept her away for 5 fucking years.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, because it's whatever the fans want.
I guess I just really thought that fan love is powerful enough to keep her alive. I guess we'll see.
It didn't help with Pyrrha.
Yeah, but that was like predetermined.
Pyrrha had to stay
Destiny.
dead so Jean could be sad.
Destiny. No.
Destiny.
While we're on this Neo train,
Okay.
let's hop into our next theory, the Brunswick farm theory. Do you guys know this one?
I
I
do.
don't know any.
It's got
theories.
zero weight. Feathers have
No,
more
I think
weight.
there's some weight to this. Okay,
Tell me,
so
tell me.
alright, the picture in Brunswick Farm, when
Uh-huh.
Ruby is looking at it before they find the dead bodies, there's these 2 kids, and one is a little redhead boy with his hair like falling in his face a little bit, and one is a little like brown-haired girl with a doll and like a braid or something. And the theory is that it's Torchwick and Neo when they were kids, and the because it's redhead and like brown, and she could dye it or whatever her. Or, like, use her semblance
Yeah,
or
in
something.
theory, we might not know what Neo looks like.
Yeah.
True. On top of that, it's Torchwick, Brunswick. So maybe, like, as, like,
okay.
his, like, gangster alias,
Okay.
he was inspired by
That's
it.
not terrible. That's not terrible. I don't have much to like analyze or get into that because like do you have the picture?
I can pull it up.
While you pull it up, I'll talk. I clearly don't like this theory.
Okay.
And it's really fun how if you look at any comment on a video reviewing that episode, it's, I thought that it was looking at Torchwick, because Torchwick's the little redhead boy. He is guaranteed.
Oh, that is frustrating
It
when
is.
people talk about theories as though it is...
Did you know Link is dead in Majora's Mask?
Did you know, even though this was directly confirmed to be not the case, did you know that Link is dead in Majora's Mask?
Here's this one.
I mean, it holds about as much weight as Cinder
grab my
is
phone.
Blake's mom, because they both have yellow eyes.
Yeah, that was I saw that on the Reddit, where it's like, remember how bad our theories were in the beginning?
And it's like, I mean, I like the idea. I'd love to see, like, a fan artist, make a fan comic about this idea. It's cool. What could prompt these two to... Are they just friends because they were the only kids in town? How were they affected by the apathy?
And, like, her hair does, like a side swipe thing.
Yeah, because no one has the same hairdo. Jean, Mercury, Ozpin.
No girls! No girls!
I'm looking at multiple women in this picture with that exact same
I know.
Okay. So I'm gonna say I think that theory is cute and harmless enough. I think it's interesting. Do I think that there's any real weight to it? No, because especially since Neo can change her form, I think it's very difficult to be like, aha!
But
we
there
found
she
her.
is.
But this is another, because she's holding, alright, this is just me to
Okay.
add on top of that, but she's holding a little doll, and everyone, for some reason, I think Unicorn War popularized this idea, but it's not true, where everyone's like, Neo's fairy tale is, Mary Poppins, because she has an umbrella. I'm like, no, it's not
She's
Mary
blatantly
Poppins!
the China doll
Yes.
from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, obviously. But she's holding a little doll, and she's the China doll! So that's what we think is guaranteed 100%.
So gotta be real, because I knew, like, the actual origin for Neo, and only that, which was that she's just gender-bent Torchwick.
Yes.
Yeah, actually.
I literally have never bothered to think of, like, what's her fairy tale?
You're doing as much effort as the writers.
I know, hired me. I just didn't consider that she even had one. The doll means nothing.
It's all me.
Because
No, you
none
see,
of their,
Ozma
none
and
of their other fairy tales, like, matter in any. It's like all like kind of like little cute like throwaway like Miss Malachite.
You're just right.
And Miss Malachite and like the spider tattoos.
She's like
there's
eating.
there's like one thing and it's like that's cute, but like really it's not like oh this they're holding this is from this story. It's that's
Allison,
not evidence.
Don't you remember when Belle murdered the Beast?
Yes.
Smashed Chip and used his remains.
No.
And then she started dating Goldilocks. That was the fairy tale.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I'm gonna say this theory's cute, but I'm not gonna be like, yes, the obvious, true, canonical.
Yeah.
Everyone has headcanon. If you want a headcanon,
that one seems like a total headcanon one.
Yeah.
It's harmless headcanon. It's sure, why not believe it if you want? But
just don't be a weirdo going around other videos and being like, did you know that this is the truth?
True.
Yeah.
Because then someone who doesn't know the show super well, like me, will see that and be like, oh, okay, that's the truth. And then you've ruined us forever.
I feel like if next season we get some info on Cinder, or more importantly for this theory, Neo's backstory, and even for just like a nanosecond, we see Neo in a farm setting with a doll, I'm going to lose my shit.
All right.
let's jump into my crackpot theory.
Do you have one?
Do you?
It's barely a theory.
I would like to
It's
hear
more
it.
of a wish. Okay, Salem has just rocked into Alice with Monstro, the giant whale. Monstro's from Pinocchio. Penny's Pinocchio. And you know who else is from Pinocchio? Candlewick. He was the jackass that got turned into a donkey. Roman, Torchwick, Candlewick, Roman's in the whale! They will enter the whale and find him!
That is ridiculous. I want you to picture a scenario, right? Penny gets eaten by Monstro. She's like, oh gosh. She turns on her light bulb eyes. She's looking around. Within Monstro, she sees a dead bird and she's like, hello? And from, like, exploding from within the bird's guts, a hand sticks out and Torchwood,
where's my hat?
And she's like, what? And he's like, it's been 90 years.
And his voice is really different now because
It's not gray anymore.
He's like, I got some ichor in my throat.
I sobered up and now my voice is different.
So that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's kind of delightful.
Well, that brings us to an entire section of theory
Ooh.
called,
Perfect transition.
which I have classified as corrupted people,
Oh.
in parentheses, Pyrrha and Summer, in parentheses, the dead never stays dead. Side note, with an asterisk, staff of creation. So there's this big old thing that dead won't stay dead. The staff of creation is a huge counterpoint, like a keystone to this. And also this idea of, like, Salem you've seen the fan art of, like, a Salem-looking Pyrrha, like, a brought back from the dead or
No,
something.
but that sounds neat.
I'll look it up.
There's plenty of
I'll look it up.
You've seen the fan art. I have not.
It's mostly Pyrrha. Summer gets thrown in there sometimes, too.
Okay.
So, what do you think about the dead staying dead and the staff
I
in general?
really, really hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Why have the death matter in your show?
It's I think when you really need to take into account the tone of a story if you're gonna have, like, this kind of comeback element.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, everyone knows Dragon Ball. Like, someone dies in Dragon Ball, it's like
I'll just bring them back.
someone's whole entire universe is erased in Dragon Ball, and it's like, that's easily fixable.
Yeah.
Like, it's consequence free. But Dragon Ball is also a goofy show.
Yes.
It started out as a gag manga. It's not like, it's not you don't go in expecting real tension and real stakes. Oh, that is a cool picture. Twiins just showed me the picture of corrupted Pyrrha. That's cool fan art. But I think for a show like RWBY, where they really want the deaths to matter, if you do start bringing back, even if it's like for angst purposes, like you cannot recover them. They will always be evil. You have to put them down again. That feels just like like trying to get more angst out of the same thing.
Yeah.
So, like, it feels like to me, if Pyrrha comes back and now she's evil and she's goopy, even if it's not like we can fix her, even if they don't have that spin on it where it's like, no, she's bad now and you have to fight her, it will feel like another statue thing where we are just milking this character's death.
Weren't you sad?
Don't
remember being
feel
sad?
the grief. just wallow in this grief, and we're never gonna have anything new. We're never gonna change. We're never gonna develop beyond this one death. One significant death. We're not gonna do anything else.
Clover was significant.
Clover will be significant
cared,
once
but,
we get
like,
to really see how it affected Crow, but
Yes.
as of now, it was Clover died, Crow cried, and then the
Yes.
volume ended.
And to be honest, while I was sad that Clover was dead, he wasn't like a main character that had been in the story
for 3 years.
Yeah, he
Only in
wasn't,
my heart.
Like, there wasn't, like, I mean, maybe there is now, I don't know, Clover merch. You know?
A little pin!
There wasn't a Clover doll.
No.
So...
This is not good luck!
So yeah, I just feel like it would feel like a cheap attempt at getting some more angst out of something that is dead.
Yeah. Literally.
I agree. We don't really know what the Staff of Creation does. It creates gravity, I guess.
Yeah, like if it creates life, because life is not its creation. Like I think you could make a body But I don't think it
'cause-
would make the spark of life.
And the
inside
god
of
of light, he points to Ozma back from the dead after the god of darkness broke the rules, and he's like, "This is not creation." So question mark. That's an element to consider.
A lot of people brought this up because Penny came back, and it's like
Penny's a fucking
Penny's
robot.
a robot.
He's a robot and
You
a
can-
big cheater.
If your toaster blows up, you can build your toaster again.
I'm gonna be real. It feels like this theory was kind of concocted mostly because people do want their favorite character Pyrrha to come back.
Or Torchwick, or
Torchwick's alive in Monstro.
He's there. He's been eating bird.
any of the dead anyone. The only one I have not seen it for is Leo. I've seen it for Bernal.
He's dead.
It's like
Why
Bernal
not?
comes
You guys-
back and she gets the maid.
You
power
guys
again.
don't want Leo to come back? Imagine all the cool stuff he can do. Like hold his tiny shield.
And be worthless in battle and be cowardly.
So yeah, I mean, it feels pretty flimsy. It feels more like a wish
Right.
than a theory. And I think a part of it may stem from Dishwasher's grim AU fan art.
Yes.
Have you seen?
Yeah, that was what you just showed me, right?
No, I'll show you something else.
Oh.
I mean, it's great artwork and everything, but I don't think it has any real weight to it.
Nah.
Mostly because we are kind of just guessing that the staff could do this.
Yeah.
We've never seen a person grim before.
Yeah, like the closest is Salem, but she's also not.
Yeah,
that.
but she's special.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should expect, a slow pan up, spooky, grim Pyrrha.
And there's Pyrrha back from the
Back
dead.
from the dead.
Guys,
Are you
do
ready
you
for
wanna-
Jean
Yes,
to
I
cry
was
some
gonna
more?
say, do you want to see Jean's
Just
hands shake?
leave the boy alone. He's gone through so much shit.
No, he's gone through one shit for
No.
just forever.
Some people don't handle death well. Hey, look at him.
That is
He's like the
very
most,
fair.
He's like the most milquetoast, perfect life boy.
But you know what's not fun to watch? Him being angsty and sad for 3 years in
Right.
a row.
Jean, as he is right now, like in volume
7.
I forgot.
I
What is time?
I keep thinking it's 8.
I know, right?
So Jean, right now, as he is, he's perfect.
Yes.
Keep him in the back, but still relevant. He's funny. He's endearing. Like that.
He has my favorite
that
line.
feels like Jean's like true intended form. Like
Yeah.
it feels correct.
Yeah.
And I would just be very disappointed because I've always been kind of like hey man, I feel like Jean could be done well. You don't need to just evict him from the show or have him die.
Yeah.
But that would really make it hard for me to continue to be a Jean advocate. Is all I'm saying.
Let's go with probably one of the other biggest, most popular theories. The theory that Crow is Ruby's dad.
Because you genetically inherit an affinity for capes.
And even though this is one that the writers have gone on multiple times and said, no, it is confirmed, it's Ty. Crow is not her father. People still subscribe to this
I
theory.
don't know why they're so... They hate the idea of him just being an uncle so much.
Because you have to look like one of your... Or both.
She looks
in Blake's
exactly
case, look like both of your twin parents who are just fucking twins.
Blake, yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand why people are so reluctant to just believe that Twiin can have 2 daughters. It's not the most impossible thing to comprehend that they're actually sisters, and that Crow, just because they both use scythes and they both have capes, that's not a genetic thing. Oh, but he's got dark hair. Yeah, you know who else had dark hair? Fucking Summer.
Yeah, I think a big thing about that is Yang clearly has attributes of, like, the blonde hair of her dad, but then also everything else of her mom.
Yeah,
But Ruby has nothing that connects her to Ty, like, visually. Like, to the point where I'm like, I was confused if Ty, like, if they had the same mother but different fathers, or, like, when we first started watching the show,
Right.
and then Ty was standing over there, and I'm like, is that her dad? Or is that, like, her uncle?
And
or...
I think that's honestly just a happenstance of design. Ruby was, or rather, Team RWBY were designed. And then Summer was designed
Yeah.
to look like Ruby.
It was,
And
the
then
blanks were filled in.
And then Ty was literally, in one of the commentaries, they say that whoever designed Ty just made basically gender-bent Yang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if... And
then Raven was also just color-swapped Yang.
Exactly, and that's why, man. Like, we can't use real fucking... What are they called?
Mendel's piece.
Yeah, we can't do a
Yeah.
real Mendel chart of genetics in anime.
Yeah.
In a world where she's got red eyes, he's got blue eyes, that mixes to make purple.
We all can't have parents who all have similar skin, hair, and eye color. Like, even though Jacques had black hair when he was little,
Yeah. Nope.
now it's white.
Because that's
And some
Schnee
people
blood.
don't understand that Jacques is, like, actually their, like, biological father. Because the way Weiss says it, she's like, a family you married into. And everyone's like, oh, so that means that they had a different dad, and then Jacques married their
And
mother.
it's like, that's
It's
not
like,
how that...
No. He just took their name.
Yeah.
Like, when they got married, rather than she took his last name, he took hers. And then they shout out their kids.
Well, that's the problem, is they explain all that in the world of Remnant, and
Yeah.
it's boring as sin.
It's really... and hard. It's not even on YouTube. It's only on their website.
I don't, because it's boring as sin.
Side tangent, they're uploading their World of Remnants on YouTube again, but with, like, worse thumbnails.
I've noticed that. I don't know why they're doing
One of
that.
them had, like, Chibi Ozpin on it. And I'm like, I don't like this.
Anyway,
Sorry.
how do you feel about this theory?
I guess, so here's the thing about this theory. I don't mean to offend you if you're really into this theory, but the thing is, it wouldn't change anything. This theory is so deeply irrelevant because it would barely even change the dynamics between the characters. Like, there wouldn't be a big, like, moment if it was like, oh, by the way, for some reason that we decided to not tell you, Crow's your dad, and it's like, oh, well, that wouldn't change the relation.
I already love him.
The relationship. It's not like, oh, by the way, this person you hate is actually your father, and it's like, no, like, it doesn't do anything.
And
so it's just kind of like,
Why
bother throwing in this random element that would not affect the dynamics of the characters in any interesting or meaningful way? I just don't understand why this is even a point of interest.
Like,
to...
why even, like, even if it was, why keep it a secret? Raven was
Exactly.
already gone.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no real...
And I think people need to
reason
remember
for
that
it.
Crow doesn't have to be Ruby's biological father to act as a father figure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
My favorite, like, comics are ones where Ty and Crow are trying to be fathers together. Alright, let's hop into a next theory. Alright.
why didn't you go in order?
Because you brought up Torchwick coming
Yeah,
back,
we're
so I had to
rough.
jump down
Oh,
to the...
my B.
Okay, this one. Coco and Mercury have silver eyes.
I like this one.
I do too. I don't think it's true, but I think I like it.
So more so, I like it for Mercury. Coco, in my opinion, I know you love her.
Yes.
And
She is
with
my
good
waifu.
reason. She's very cute.
She's the best.
She's a side character.
No, she's not. She's the main
She is-
character.
She is an extra, and while it would be interesting enough to be like, oh, she has silver eyes, I would not be terribly broken up if she didn't have silver eyes.
Yeah.
Because that would just be yet another character we would have to care about in this big cast. But Mercury, as I had previously stated, has literally nothing. He has nothing, he has no semblance, he has no character, he is just your Lowenthal doing a voice. And I feel like maybe giving him one thing would be, like, cool. Like, a personality would be more interesting.
Yeah.
But a superpower is neat, too.
Hey, that's what they do with Ruby.
I don't...
Oh,
Shit. To be clear, I don't think that he does have silver eyes, because I feel like that probably would have come up sooner if he did. But I just... Wouldn't that be nice if we could... If anything... If he could be...
I fucking love this theory. I'm upset that I know it's just a theory.
Yeah.
Like, they've retconned Coco's eyes to always be brown after her appearance, where we got to see her eyes for the first time, and they were clearly at least gray. And that's the problem with Mercury. I think his eyes are technically gray, and that's not something you should do in a show where an eye color matters.
And they've gone in, like, the fans are like, no, look, there's like a couple of pixels of a shine in the pupil, and that's how you know that it's considered gray. And I'm like, oh, that's too obscure.
And back when I had my own headcanon theory idea of all of Team Coffee being Secret Faunus working in the White Fang, which I don't think is a thing anymore.
No, but that was another good theory.
It was a great theory. Then having people in all the different factions with this ability really did matter, because how does Mercury having silver eyes change his dynamic in the Salem group? Do they hate him? Do they try to protect him? I don't fucking know. How can Coco, being part of the White Fang headcanon idea, back when I thought that was going to be where it went, how does her having silver eyes change how they fight her, or whatever the fuck? Yeah. And I think, moreover, it would be nice to get more silver eye characters. We don't need a whole ocean of them. But it being literally just RWBY and Maria, and Maria's not necessary.
Doesn't count
anymore. She doesn't do anything.
No.
She can't use them.
She spent all last volume sitting on her ass. Not even
making out with Pietro. And I just, like, I do wish we got to see more Silver Eye kids, because there's no reason for RWBY to be literally the only one. I don't watch Naruto.
Clearly. Yeah. I don't watch your anime.
But I know that Gaara has, like, the same ability as Naruto.
Does he?
I think so.
No, they both have one of the demons trapped in them.
Yeah, so
there's demons in Naruto?
Yeah, that's why he's the nine-tailed fox thing. I started to watch Naruto, and I was fucking mind-numbingly bored.
Guys, do you
by
want to just talk about Naruto?
Filler.
Do you have a Naruto podcast? Can we change it?
No, but even in Naruto, they have another person that makes Naruto the special.
There's 9 of them.
Is there really?
Yeah, there's 9 demons.
Okay,
10 maybe if I don't really remember.
We can't go
Naruto podcast.
I think more importantly, like, also with Naruto, like...
Can we talk about One Piece?
I don't know any of these shows.
I don't either.
I know Rock Lee.
He's the best. No, with Naruto, they're like they have clans or tribes. I don't remember what word they use, but their eyes. Like, you've seen her, Naruto's wife. She has like pale gray eyes.
Yeah, they have special eyes.
And like that's how you know, like, you know, their teacher dude. He covers his face because his one eye is like a special, and like moody blue-haared boy who's on Naruto's team, his eyes do a special.
Okay, even I know who Sasuke is.
I couldn't remember. I was just thinking Yusuke, and I'm like, I know that's wrong.
Critter.
That is a character from Persona.
Are we going somewhere?
No. Okay. They have the special eyes, and the special eyes do special powers. Mm-hmm. So the one I remember is gray-eyed girl, Naruto's wife.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name. Naruto's wife.
We'll call her that.
She has those gray eyes, and she has a special magic power. Now imagine if someone walked up, it's like, you have the same power. Your eyes are the same. No, my eyes are like 2 shades down on the color palette. So it's not, I don't have anything special.
I get your point. It's like...
Gray and silver are too close together.
In a world where this is a very important element, maybe don't have anyone's eyes be remotely close to the super-powered eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your hair went yellow. Are you a Super Saiyan? No. I'm what was her name?
Launch.
Yeah. I'm not, like they run into, like, another character with, like, a fuzzy tail, and they're like, oh my gosh, a Saiyan! And it's like, no, I'm a cat. And it's like, are you fucking...
The end.
I would like this theory because I like the idea of, like, an end game quest for Team RWBY is, hey, we need to find more silver-eyed warriors to help us. Oh, I remember. Let's think about some character. And, like, if progressively throughout the years we had seen characters but didn't, like, register, because, like, Coco wears glasses. We didn't think about it. I just remember her with her glasses.
Like, if it had been, like, a long-term plan.
Yeah, but
clearly that is not
But
the
it's
case.
not happening.
But, yeah, I like this theory. I think it would be cool. This is one of those things where if they did, like, kind of retcon it, it's like, like, conveniently now, only just now, we are going to talk about how Mercury has silver eyes.
Yeah.
I would be down with retcons that improve the show, but do I think it's gonna happen? Oh no. No. I think Mercury's gonna die in complete obscurity.
He's just gone from the show suddenly.
No, he's gonna die off screen.
It's gonna be like
it'll be like, I can't believe when we killed Mercury, and it's like,
Did Mercury just die?
Yeah,
it was really unclear.
Kind of like how for most of the finale, I was like, is Watts fucking dead? Is he? I don't know.
What happened?
And then he suddenly wasn't, but the reverse of, like, a gravestone that says, RIP Mercury. He was great, I guess.
Alright, let's move forward with...
I gave you the pencil so you can cross off when you're done.
Sorry, I didn't even think about it. There's nothing in this pencil. Shit. You have lied to me. It's fine. I got it. I'm keeping track. Alright, so... Oh, this is a pretty common one. The theory that Team RWBY will become the 4 Maidens.
I mean, I get it. There are 4 of them. And if they actually gave a shit about color theory, 2 of the girls fit the color palette really well. Weiss would be the Winter Maiden, Yang would be the Summer Maiden, and then do whatever you want with the other 2, I guess. But I don't think we need to have Team RWBY become all of the avatars for them to still make an impact on the show.
I think if one of them became
I think
RWBY, probably, because she's the main one.
I mean, I think if Yang became a maiden, then a bit like Mercury having silver eyes, it would give her an excuse to actually exist in the show, because she has no reason to be there right now, except be Blake's girlfriend, be the 4th one, be the Y.
She's RWBY's sister. That relationship matters.
Oh no, Summer died? I'm gonna cry. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't even engage.
She cared.
Did she?
Yeah.
She cared that RWBY started to cry.
Well, you know.
Didn't care about Summer. You know, super mom. Destroyer of Grimm and baker of cookies.
So she didn't interrupt Salem.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Yang doesn't get to do anything ever. She's never gone to do anything. And maybe if she had maiden powers, make her the Winter Maiden. Because who cares about fucking color theory?
Not this show.
Not this show.
Sorry.
It's just designed around color.
It's your most passionate topic, and they will never care.
Regardless.
Penny is purely spring color.
Regardless, I think if one of them became a maiden, it could be an interesting, not RWBY, it could be an interesting way to change the dynamic. So then the villains cared about more of them than just RWBY.
Someone else gets to be a special.
Yeah.
And it would also add an element of tension, because we know that the only way, well, aside from the Gloopy Grimarm, which I don't really understand how that works, but the only way that they've actively talked about is you gotta give them a stab in order to get the maiden powers. And so if one of the other team members had it, it'd be like, oh no.
Yeah.
That there's a target on this character's head. Even if that was like a toothless threat, even if they didn't do anything with that, I think that could add a fun element of tension.
An in-world threat as opposed to a meta threat.
Right. Again, I don't know how the Goopy arm works. Maybe you can just pull out all the maiden powers, but we have yet to see someone do that.
No, not yet.
So yeah, I have no stake in it. There's no theory, or is there any evidence supporting that it might happen?
Well, there's a little bit, but only for 2 of them. The idea is Raven would die, and then Yang would get the spring.
Yeah.
Yes, she's spring.
Okay.
Yang would get the spring one, and then Penny would die, and probably RWBY would get the winter. The outliers is Cinder has fall, and we don't know who has summer.
Cinder dies.
dying, and she's like, fucking wife.
That'd be actually kind of interesting if if Cinder died, and her last thought was her hate boner Ruby, and Ruby got the powers.
Oh, that would be kind of funny.
That'd be interesting.
Which leads me to a subsect theory on the Maiden train. The theory that Summer is alive and is the Summer Maiden.
A little on the nose.
It's the same thing. It's like, winter's gonna be the Winter Maiden.
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah.
it weird that our mom named you that?
I mean, I guess it's a possibility. I don't think she's alive.
She might be.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
It's as possible as her being dead, I suppose.
I guess
you know?
Yeah.
It's not an out of the question like Torchwick being a monstro. Like Osprey wants the
when
silver
you mean
eyes
you're saying
thing.
it's very likely.
I think it's because she didn't come back. There's no body, so we can't confirm.
I suppose.
There could have been, right? Did we ever hear that there wasn't a body?
No, yeah, Crow.
Or just have we not seen a body?
When Crow and Ruby were talking, and she was like, when Mom left, was that an Ozpin secret mission? And Crow was like, no, that was just a
I
summer
don't know
secret.
what you just said. Was that at like
Ozpin secret mission.
Okay.
Sorry. Ozpin secret mission. And Crow said, no, that was a summer secret.
Okay.
And then
Then
she
we never
came
saw
back.
her body.
No, he said she never came back. So,
I see.
Okay.
she could. I think it would actually be really interesting if we did kind of like pseudo trick the audience with this idea, like maybe she is alive, she could still be alive, who knows? And then Ruby at the end is just like, and then we find out, yes, she has been dead this whole time. And then Ruby had to be like, well, he kept me going for a while.
Yeah, that's the tone. Well, shucks.
I hoped, but
Dang
I
it.
didn't expect.
Yeah, like going to the grocery store these days and being like, maybe they'll have flour. They didn't. It's
Shucks.
okay. I didn't expect flour. No.
Boy, I did have a thought. I guess I'll just shut up then. I've forgotten it.
Can you read the theory again?
Yeah, Summer is the Summer Maiden.
Okay, so I maybe.
I was gonna theorize, like, who could the Summer Maiden be? But I'm like, I don't fucking
That's kind of
Freya was kind of, like, thrown at us out of
Exactly.
nowhere.
Some
Exactly.
faunus and vacua.
We don't have to know who the maiden is.
Yeah.
Like, it could be anyone.
Yeah.
Like Vernal. I remembered the thing.
What is it?
If they really cared enough to have Summer still be alive, they would give her an actual design and not just have her be color swapped Ruby.
They gave her
You mean
hair's
like
different.
Raven?
At least Raven had a unique outfit.
Her outfit's unique.
No, it's black version of Ruby's Volume 4 outfit. So it's
Oh.
also ugly as sin.
It's hard to see. Her coat's in the way. It's hard to see.
Maybe it's
Also, maybe
exactly
there's
like
been
Raven.
a time jump, and maybe it looks different nowadays.
Maybe exactly like Raven, she can show up, be a literal exact palette swap of the character in question, and then once this character becomes relevant, then they get the cool outfit upgrade.
If that does happen, I hope that is how it goes down. Because Raven got, a unique design, and she looks way better than when she was just black hair, edgy color Yang,
Alternate color in Smash Bros. Yang.
Shadow the Hedgehog variant Yang.
That is her official model.
Oh, this is her official model?
Yes.
Oh, she's cute. Oh, look at her.
Oh, look at how she's just a color swap of Ruby. Who
That
gives
is-
a fuck about Summer Rose?
That is true.
Why put in effort when we have to make a 7th outfit for Cinder?
Chill out.
I'm so disappointed that they couldn't put any effort into designing for her first appearance. We've been
I
wondering
thought
what
it was
Summer
fun.
Rose looks like this whole time, and even though they made like 3 outfits for Salem and 7 different iterations
3?
of Ozma. Yeah, good Salem, evil form
Oh,
part
and
1,
now
evil
big.
form part 2, and a whole slew of background characters for the past. And Cinder did get a lot of outfit changes, and Neo gets a new outfit, all in the same volume, they put literally no effort into Summer, and I just think that's a little disappointing.
I didn't think it was. I think it,
great. So we disagree.
I think that's fair. She's definitely a boring design. My hope is that it's literally because she's on screen for a second and then she's gone, and that if they do decide to bring her back in any meaningful way, maybe polish up the model a little bit and add any like element of interest to the design, because the thing with RWBY, they usually add some sort of like detail work somewhere, belts.
Zippers and belts.
Who are you? I'm you, RWBY, but with zippers instead of belts.
I think it's fine because I kind of always pictured Summer to be like a kind of like a simple. Like, I don't want all the glitz and glam.
Just a real dumb
just
girl.
No. just a dress. Like, just nothing crazy fancy. And also,
I'm not saying
I
she
don't
needs
want
to have, like, 4,000 layers.
Like,
just a unique design.
Those are the 2 times we've seen her from Volume 6 and then from Volume 7. Her face was the focal point. Like, I didn't really look at her outfit. I looked at her hair more than anything else. So... And yes, if she comes back and does a bit more on screen, then I assume they will probably glam it up a bit.
I would hope so.
Putting effort, but also not putting too much to distract from other things that need to get done.
Distract?
Yeah, this person who's on screen for 7 seconds, and we only see, like, half of her shoulder and some of her boob, because we're looking at her face for a second before it fades to her eyes.
Yeah, can't put in too much effort. Just like how when Raven was on screen for 3 seconds, and they designed a whole model for her. On the train.
In Volume 2?
Yeah.
They color-coded her?
We
looked at her whole... She had to hold her sword.
A unique design doesn't mean a distraction. You know? It doesn't have to be a bunch of glitter and shit. It can just be... not just RWBY's model recolored.
This isn't even what the theory was about.
Correct. We're splitting hairs.
We switched from is Summer Maiden to is Summer alive and is her dress stupid? Debate violently in the comments,
in order.
please.
No, yes.
I would say... I don't know. No... It's fine. I had no problems.
Forgot the order in which I presented the questions.
Let's jump to another theory. Now we're starting to get into the real kind of weird ones.
Okay.
That's gotta be great to listen to.
Oh, sorry. Alright, this one, I found on Reddit a couple of different times. Emerald is related to the Bronwyn twins.
Is it because they all have red eyes?
Yes, that is the entire basis of the theory.
I'm going to say no.
I saw both, like, she's Crow's bastard child, and then she's a Raven's bastard child.
You can't mutter like that. Bastard child.
Yes.
Sorry. I find that a funny theory because this is the same fandom that Twiins iink can't be RWBY's dad because she looks nothing like Twiins iink. She has to be Crow's kid because they both have dark hair. Like you have, and it's like Emerald's brown.
So yeah,
that's a big element.
So here's the thing: she could be mixed.
Sure.
She could just be very tan. But no, I'm gonna put my foot down on this one and say no.
I think it's similar.
She has red eyes because that looked good with her green hair.
Like,
It does.
I don't
It looks so
remember.
good.
I think I saw it like 2 years ago or something, where someone's like, I think Neo is related to Raven because their necklaces are the same. And I'm like, yeah, that's because they took her model of the necklace and then just slapped it
Does
on
that
Raven.
mean Coco's also related to them? Because she also has the same necklace.
The necklace, it comes back. It's the most important
The
element.
necklace is a relic.
We look like fools. We have to do another podcast, and it's titled "We're Sorry."
It's like, with us looking sad.
Yeah. You have to draw our like critters.
That was sad faces.
Oh.
This is all like a train of weird relation ideas.
Okay.
This one, a bit more of, it's not though, but a bit more well-known is the theory that Watts and Jacques are related, brothers maybe,
Is it because Watts looks a lot like just player 2 color version of Jacques?
It's because they both have mustaches. And that is literally it. And Port's their father because he has a mustache.
Mustaches are, I can confirm, a genetic trait. That's why, just like my father, I have a glorious mustache. You can't see it, but I promise this is true.
Yeah, definitely.
I wax it every day.
I was gonna say you brush it every day.
I make fun shapes with it. You can do that, right?
And then a lot of people, especially the episode where he like walked into like Jacques' study, a lot of people are like, they know each other already. I'm like, that could mean anything. they could be best friends.
They're also both old men. You think they only know their siblings? Like,
They do have very similar body types, I will say.
Yeah.
But once again, Watts is pretty like not translucent skin.
Also,
I again, he could be just very tan. But I don't think so.
I don't
think so
Also,
either.
his last name is not Schnee.
Well,
It's
Oh yeah, that's
Jacques
right.
changed
What was
his
Jacques' last name?
Yeah.
So
Jacques did have black hair. I'm gonna say that one has... That might be the most plausible theory we've heard today.
There's
Not my talk theory.
There's an element of that might not be completely full of shit.
Yeah. I do think that they're both just designed by the same artist. Because, like, there's one artist who just really loves having these tall, thin boys, like Whitley and Jacques and Watts. And that's fine. I think it's just that.
I also just looked up Watts. Watts' eyes are green. So, literally nothing color palette wise connects them with each other.
Yeah,
but neither does RWBY and Yang.
Exactly. So...
Mustaches.
I'm gonna say I don't hate the idea of them being like cousins or something, you know? Like, hey, that prompts an interesting like dynamic.
Sure. It is a little silly, but it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. And this one was really, really out there. This one is that Jacques is Adams's father.
Yes, of course.
They both have blue eyes.
Right.
Not Tai Yang, who also has blue eyes. And a mother who would be red and black if it was Raven or Summer.
That would, oh wow, imagine how sketchy that would be if you were accidentally siblings with your new girlfriend's ex.
He's dead anyways.
I mean, it's an anime.
Yeah.
And it was like, Jacques abandoned him because he was a Faunus. And I'm like, I don't think Jacques would fuck a Faunus in the first place.
So that's a really cool fanfic idea. If someone wants to write a fanfic based on that premise, that sounds neat. That's a good like writing prompt idea.
Yeah.
That sounds very not canon.
Yes.
But fun, like creative. Whoever came up with that, I think it might be less so about like, ooh, the blue eyes, and more so about like that's a fun dynamic.
Yeah.
Of
what could prompt Adam to be
hated, despised, abandoned, lost child.
Yeah.
That's an interesting premise that is definitely not true.
Points for originality, I suppose.
Yes.
Adam comes back and he's like, Father!
My dad! And I was like, what happened to this show?
Another I'm sorry video.
So now we're getting into these ones were suggested by you lovely people in the comments.
Ooh.
I had a video, I pulled it out, and I wrote them all down. I didn't write down every suggestion because some of them were like what we were talking about, like RWBY's dad or something. But here's some of the interesting ones. Let's start with this one from Patrick Holberg. Holberg?
She's written these physically, so if she gets your name wrong, it's because canonically our handwriting really sucks.
It is.
It literally, guys, it looks like hieroglyphs. Like these two will make, like, cute comics, and they'll be like, read my thing, and it's like, what does this say? It's adorable. I love the artwork. I can't fucking read this.
I'm going to assume you're gonna put it on screen as well.
Let's see. We'll see how much effort I feel.
Okay, but
apparently Patrick Holbrook suggested it, but apparently it was a theory started by I really don't know how to say this.
Caxelin or whatever.
Calixian?
I don't watch her videos.
I don't either. Murderer Birds is his girlfriend.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it was she came up with the theory. He just suggested it on my channel. This is a theory that Whitley is a robot.
Why?
Because they can make robots in Atlas.
I just don't get why. I suppose I would have to watch Caitlin. I watched her video about it.
Right,
yeah.
maybe she has some more evidence that kind of, like, helps lend to it.
Is it because he moves really weird?
Is it because he has no nose? They didn't build him a nose?
Is it because he's so loyal to his father? Or I don't...
Is it because his performance sounds so robotic?
Oh, come on!
He does great, honestly.
Yeah.
I just wanted... It was
an easy
joke.
low-hanging fruit.
It was a low-hanging fruit. I don't think so. I'm gonna be real.
I don't either.
also don't think so, but maybe if I heard more about it, I would be more convinced. Just presented to me as is. Once again, this is kind of one of those things where I feel like the truth come out. Whitley is a robot. I don't know how much that would change.
Yeah.
Because we've already established real girl theory. Penny is a real girl.
Yeah.
So if it was like, Whitley's a robot, it would be like, okay. He can maybe fly with his robot feet, like, or turn on his robot flashlight eyes. Like, it wouldn't do much, in my opinion, because he would still be Whitley, real boy.
I feel like it would. I feel like it would be a better if it was presented to us as such. Like, this is my robot son, Whitley, because I had daughters and I don't want them. I have a son now.
They smell. I made my own son. He's better.
Blackjack and hookers.
He doesn't ask for allowance.
I think it's more that people are just desperate for Whitley to have, like, a character or something.
I think that's gonna happen. I'm feeling it.
The last time we saw Whitley, he was, like, moody, and then he ran away. I really hope... I don't want a whole nother fucking villain in this rogues gallery of 5 billion. But I do hope Whitley gets to do anything other than just snark in Weiss's doorframe.
Yeah.
Just
saucy.
If he's gonna exist, might as well use him for something good,
Right.
you know?
Right.
I hope it has to deal with, like, Jacques. Like, I hope that's the dynamic that he gets to do something with.
Yeah.
I suppose.
But I don't think he's a robot.
Yeah.
There's nothing that suggests.
I'm intrigued. I guess I'll go watch that video when we're done, though.
I wouldn't hate it if he was a robot. To me, I wouldn't be, like, swept off my feet or blown away if any character at this point was, did you know? Robot!
I'm also!
Okay.
I think
the only one that it'd be weird for is, like, Maria. It'd be like, oh, a silver-eyed robot warrior.
Wow.
Or Adam comes back, and it's like, why did you bleed?
It's me, a robot faunus. And it's like, we're getting a little silly now.
Alright, this next one, there was 2 from... It's another X. I can't with the X's. It's like, and their name is Sion or Akira. Like, that is their full name was, like, Xion. Like, so I imagine Zion or Akira. That was their username.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with Akira, because I can say that one.
Okay.
Akira has... Weiss is a clone of Winter. Watts and their mother was the one who made the clone.
That's deep. That
we're throwing Watts into the mix now.
Why wouldn't it just be a clone of Willow?
But
why have a daughter and
to
then
be
clone
something
her?
as, like, physically capable, as militant as Winter, but not fuck up and have her go to the military this time.
What is it with the Weiss family?
Okay. Genuine apologies if this is something that you really, really subscribe to, Akira. I feel like you're pulling our leg here. Because it's like, I made a clone of my daughter, and it's like, why didn't you just have another daughter?
These work great together.
I cloned one, then I made a robot son.
Yeah. It's silly and cute and fun. I don't think so. But Thank you.
Again, it seems like something that'd be more interesting if it was presented to us at any point in time. Like during this, like during Volume 7, it's like, gasp, the clone. And it's like,
gasp, the clone.
Like if Weiss was doing her house tour and she's like, check out my test tube.
Or if like Weiss got cut and then Winter's like, ugh, my clone hurts.
I guess I just don't see how that changes anything.
Again, yeah. Other than like,
because
I would be more...
Because Winter is objectively the side character, and I think it'd be more interesting if Weiss had clones, you know? If we were gonna go the clone route.
I think it'd be more an interesting concept that Watts could make clones and or Watts and Willow has a history.
Ooh, Silver-Eyed clones. Clone Silver-Eyed warriors. Clone a RWBY to be in your army.
Just clone their eyes, rip out other people's eyes, and replace them with silver.
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
This would work really poorly if you have a Grimm army. Why would you then make a Silver-Eyed faction?
I don't know, I'd like more evidence for this one.
They didn't offer anything. I liked the concept.
Yeah, I think this is just a for fun one.
Not horrible, I'm gonna say.
Akira has another one.
Okay.
This one I was really into, and then I had a thought, and I'm like, well...
Okay.
There's something that made me, like, have reservations. This theory, RWBY, specifically the Summers side of her family, are descendants of Salem, and that's why, you know, Salem knew about Summer. But
with what children?
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, that could totally work. Oh, wait.
Yeah, the kids are dead.
Well, maybe she went and had more kids.
Maybe.
Maybe she cloned robots' kids.
This one is interesting. That could be an interesting thing to... It would be... I would be a little bit annoyed with it if it were true, if only for the fact that, once again, it would feel like RWBY's motivation is
dictated by someone else's actions.
Well, not even actions, just coincidence. Yeah. RWBY was born with the MacGuffin eyes. Yeah. And I killed your mother. But like also I'm your great granny.
It's the grandmother in the woods and the Red Riding Hood.
That's funny.
She was the wolf the whole time.
Shit, dude.
I like that. I like that spin on it.
That's a fun spin. I would be frustrated if only for the fact that it would be like, again, why can't we have RWBY be a protagonist because of her innate desire to do good and her...
As opposed to have
RWBY's choice as opposed to... I'm your grandmother, RWBY, and I did a naughty. Are you going to stop me?
As opposed to having the protagonist role cast upon her over and over again.
Right, right. And just, like, keep layering it on of, like, you have the silver eyes, I killed your mom, I'm your grandma.
When does RWBY get to make a choice?
She just wants to be a normal girl with normal needs.
The only choice she made was to chase after Torchwick. After that, it was, you got the special eyes. You were born with that. You know what? I'm gonna decide to bring you into the special school where all the shit's gonna go down. Me, Ozpin.
She decided to walk there.
You're
like,
right.
She wanted to be a huntress, and it's like, okay. But, like... Destiny awaits. You are a silver-eyed warrior. It's like,
Naruto
are you gonna...
also wants to be the Hokage.
Right.
He still had to do things.
Right.
And he was also blessed with the, you just get the special.
This is the Naruto podcast now.
I don't know why I'm pulling so much from Naruto.
Stay tuned from Naruto episode 2. We continue to talk about a show we haven't watched.
Alright. This one, another person, easiest CC, like C... Like capital C, capital C.
Okay.
Nice.
Easiest CC. They had 3 different theories that I liked. One is that the black tar the Grimm crawl out of is the darkness in people's hearts. Kind of like how it happens in Kingdom Hearts, where the darkness, like the Heartless are from the darkness of people's hearts.
Cute.
Do you get... I like that theory.
I mean, we have no other origin story for the goo. So might as well, right?
Wait. Born from the darkness in people's hearts. Wasn't there a point where there were Grimm and not people? If that were... I mean, like, that's a fun theory, but if that were the case, wouldn't the Grimm population have died out quite a bit when the human population was wiped out?
Do they take up the goo, or like, okay,
Like
let me explain
like
what that
Is
says.
goo a finite resource?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, like,
does each Grimm birth take away some goo from the world?
Exactly.
Was it from the Brother of Darkness's heart to begin with, and then more people were born into the world and had darkness in their hearts, were more goo spreading? Is it not a finite but a never ending?
Perhaps the dark brother was like, boy, my kingdom sure is dim. And then someone else off in the world was like, grr, I'm mad. And then a little puddle started to form, and he's like, golly, that's interesting. Hope some monsters come out of that, and then they did.
Well, he made the Grimm first, and then they made humans.
You're right.
I like the idea of this theory, but there's so much, hypothetical logistics of, not quantifiable things.
Again, this feels like a wonderful, writing prompt thing, but I don't think it holds weight, but it's a cool idea.
I wouldn't call it weightless, necessarily.
Yeah.
Because RWBY's lore is, complex and barely explained
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna say that could happen, and then we would all have all those questions about, what about the brother? What about finite resources?
Where did it come from?
And they wouldn't ever answer those questions. And so, I'm gonna say, not a bad idea, guy.
Yeah.
That also gives a good reason to continue the search of world peace that Ozma's been tasked with, because if no one's mad and grumpy, then the Grimm all die, and they can't come back, or whatever. Because
did the God of Light promise that the
Grimm would go away?
No, but it was...
but it's the darkness in the hearts, I get it.
You have to stop all fighting, and then the very next scene was, oh no, a Beowulf attack! We have to destroy Salem. And that connection makes no sense
Your RWBY
at all.
voice is so annoying.
That's how RWBY feels to me. That my annoying RWBY voice...
That, SpongeBob meme.
is how I feel about her. She's the most annoying. Yeah, RWBY's like, we have to destroy Salem.
I mean, your RWBY voice is no better than my talk voice.
Yeah, full circle.
So, yeah, I guess that could connect Ozma's plan, theoretically.
Another one, the easiest CC had was... This one, I like this one because it was saucy. Raven killed Summer because of relationship issues with Ty.
The drama.
I feel like this one, I don't expect it, but if it did happen, I think it could happen kind of naturally in the world that we have. It would explain why Raven hates being around Summer, or hates being around RWBY and Yang.
Yeah, you're exactly like your mom, and I hate it, kind of a thing.
I think this one could totally happen, but I don't expect it to.
I would call it plausible, but there's no evidence. It could happen. It could happen, yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's not like Torchic being a monster or anything.
Yeah.
Actually possible.
Actually extremely likely. Possible. I don't like this. Well, I would hope it wouldn't happen, if only for the fact that how did my mom die? Oh, girl fighting over boy.
Raven left and then was like, that's my man.
Yeah, fuck you.
The one I chose to leave.
That just feels very like catty and like if it were to happen, I would be just as uninspired as it's me, Salem. I killed your mom. It feels on the same level of like
weightless.
Just I feel like you could do more interesting things instead.
I think it would be, rather than kill out of spite, I think it would be better if it was, an accident kill. Like, if Summer was off on her, random trip that she was on, and happens to run into Raven, and they happen to get in a fight, and Summer's like, you left. And Raven's like, I left because I'm strong. He's like, no, if you were strong, you would have stayed with your family. You would have stuck through the hardships. I'm the strong one because I had to take it up after you and take over caring for Yang and my own baby. And then as they got upset, Raven ended up killing her because he's like, no, I'm the strong one. I'm stronger than you.
Out of spite. Like what you're detailing.
I feel like it would have been like a bit like it wasn't a pre-planned murder.
It's not
it
because
just...
bitch you stole my man. It's like a moral like
they got into an argument.
Like
kind of a thing.
I don't hate this theory, and it is like it's one of the more plausible ones we've talked about.
Yeah.
But I just kind of hope it's not the case.
Yeah.
If only for the fact that Raven's already pretty unlikable. So it's like I feel like she's not supposed to be completely unlikable.
Yeah.
I feel like, and maybe this is me misreading the authorial intent, but I feel like they were hoping to create a morally gray character with Raven. So I feel like if you have her do something like that, she might swing a little bit too far into the irredeemable category.
Well, also she regretted.
Regret doesn't change the fact that you
not going to bring back Summer.
You drew a weapon and fired. Like, regret doesn't change your actions.
That is fair.
I would be disappointed.
Yeah.
But.
Personally, I'm also a sucker for Team Stark still wants to be friends, but, something happened to prompt them to not be a team anymore. But they...
Crow's bad luck.
But they miss... they miss being with each other, kind of a thing. But I like friendship, personally.
I like that. That's one of my favorite, theories.
Yeah, very possible. Or plausible? What's the difference between the words?
I don't think much. And their last theory that they had, and our last theory of this section, is RWBY is Summer reincarnated. And that's why she had those, flashbacks and got so upset when Salem had her yo mom joke in Volume 7.
Oh, so she gets the special life thing,
a lot of people,
Ozma?
There's other reincarnating... theories too, when Crow dies, is his bird magic gonna reincarnate into someone or something? Or
does
transfer to someone?
Does it go
Maiden?
back to us?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting... The Crow one specifically is interesting, if only for the fact that every instance that we've seen of the magic has been transferable.
Yes.
So that's interesting.
Imagine if it goes to Raven and she just can do double bird.
She can turn into a smaller, weaker bird.
I think we put, especially like you were saying with Yang, give her something... some kind of, a power-up works.
Imagine, because she wouldn't turn into a black bird. Yang would turn into some beautiful phoenix-looking thing.
There's you trying to use color theory again. You really think they do
and then
that?
She has,
no, she'd be a dusty-ass raven.
It'd be because she has a theme of phoenix and fire. That'd be great.
That would be great. It wouldn't happen.
No,
it would not happen.
It would go to
a fucking dusty-ass bird.
No, it'd go to either Blake or RWBY. That would just be black birds again.
Yeah, you're right. RWBY can already fly.
Yeah.
With her turns into a blob and moves fast. Well, turns into a blob and moves at the same speed she would have ran.
Oh, what if it was one of Juniper instead?
Oh yeah,
sorry, I immediately forgot the actual thing.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah,
I got distracted.
If Oscar got it. Or if Jean got it.
Got what again?
Bird powers.
Okay, but no. What's the theory?
Oh, the
let's not keep ignoring Akira.
Sorry. No, it's easiest to see.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry.
It's, Summer died and Ruby's her reincarnated.
Okay.
Okay. That could, so I don't particularly care for, in any kind of anime, I'm a carbon copy of my parent. And that would be an acceptable excuse for it. Even though that's not how Ozma's reincarnation works.
No.
But I don't see why she would be reincarnating. She would need something special. It can't just be Silver Eyes having her reincarnate, you know?
Yeah. Otherwise we'd still have silver-eyed warriors at this point.
Exactly.
Because they just continually reincarnate.
Yeah, so there would have to be another special reason for it. She would have to be magical in some way.
More magic.
And yeah, that's just let's throw
the sun came out.
Yeah, it did. It would just be let's give RWBY another special ability, which I don't see a reason for. I don't hate the idea.
I think if there was more to if she had a magical thing that could be transferable. then
That
yes,
would-
maybe.
I think we would have gotten more hints of it by now, though. Because,
Right.
like, Oscars...
Like memory, like flashbacks, or...
Yeah, and the Ruby's spent just as much time thinking about Pyrrha as she has about her mom, you know?
True.
So, I don't think this theory holds much water, but I don't hate the idea of the theory. It's another one that I think would be a good writing prompt or something.
Yeah.
So I would jump fully onto this theory if the person in question had been, like, a grandmother or a great-grandmother. So, and this is just my personal, I guess, preference for reincarnation stories, but it's usually portrayed as, like, a soul rebirth. And so that wouldn't really work in the case with RWBY, because it's not a magic reincarnation like with Ozpin. So it wouldn't really work with Ruby and Summer, because Ruby had already been born when Summer died.
But so was Oscar.
Right, that's why I was specifically
I
separated them. Ozpin's is a magical reincarnation.
Okay.
She doesn't have magic. They're not more special than their Silver Eyes, as far as we know right now.
Yeah.
Maria
hopefully
said
not.
that Silver Eyes are genetic, which makes me think that we should be seeing more of them. But Maria also said that it was her dad that taught her everything, not
Dad
her mom.
Didn't know.
So
yeah.
So is it her dad's soul magic thing that reincarnated into her? Why does Maria gender swap?
Well, I don't think necessarily for a reincarnation story to have to work that everyone needs to be a reincarnation. Like, every Silver-Eyed Warrior is a reincarnation. You can just have, whoops, accidental reincarnation, this soul got recycled.
Yeah, that would happen in
and
Warriors.
I guess I just think it would be more plausible if it was someone who had already been dead by the time Ruby was born, because otherwise Ruby has a soul of her own already, and you're just kind of like, well, now she has two, and
jamming
we
it on
haven't
in there.
seen any evidence of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a cool idea, but yeah, I would like it more if it was like a grandmother or something.
Yeah. So that was all the theories I had, which that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed all of them.
Yeah, and thank you all for submitting them. Apologies if it sounded like we're not like making fun of you for
No,
your theories.
yes,
This is just for fun.
This
Really.
is all for fun. Remember, we came up with Tortrick and Monstro, and Talk works for Ozpin. So
Yeah.
we're just up there in the theory alley as you are. So let's move on to the second part of this.
Oh, boy.
This one is a Q&A.
Yay!
Where do you guys want to start? Questions on YouTube or questions on Twitter?
I don't care. Aren't there less on Twitter?
Yes.
So let's start with the Twitter one.
Yes, and I'm gonna be real. I peeked at it, and like they're all
You
floof.
cheater.
They're all floof.
There's a lot of floof, yes. Which, the floof artist, thank you. Thank you so much for participating and doing stuff.
Yeah, floof's cool. They
Floof
support
is
us.
cool. Duh. Bam. Okay, so Floof has, I believe, 4?
Yeah.
Nope,
Okay.
just lied, it was 5. Floof has 5. So let's
Okay.
start with his first one. Do you think they'll make every female character's boobs bigger for future volumes? Because they know that the fan artists are the only reason their IP is even relevant.
Oh my god!
Floof.
Just running in with the...
So, Sass Sneeder just hit 1,000.
I'm already getting so much shit for talking about Weiss's titties for 5 minutes.
I liked that video.
Yeah, you're the only one.
Thank you.
I think they'll do it moreover out of the general consensus I've obtained through my video about Weiss's titties is that they have one model that they're basically just repurposing over and over, that they're scaling up or down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if everyone's titties are gonna get bigger, it's gonna be because of that, and not because we have to have the fan artists draw giant boobs, because if you're a part of any fandom, you'll know that the artists just do that anyway. Yeah.
That's true.
Fuck consistency. I want J cups.
Like, I saw one with
Artistic interpretation can be fun.
It
but-
can.
I saw one with Ruby. Her tits were so. It's like her back would actually snap in half, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, like she was in One Piece.
Which we've all watched. Okay, so, like, honestly, in my opinion, I really, really genuinely don't mind when fan artists, like, she has gargantuan boobies, and they are bigger than her whole head. That doesn't bother me, because it's like, do whatever you want, man. Hentai's hentai. Like, have fun. It is kind of silly when in show the boobs are like just
unremarkable.
changing and just doing whatever. Yang is shrinking, Weiss is bigger. Like that.
RWBY fluctuates through all of volume 1.
I think it completely just changes depending on her outfit.
In her pajamas.
In her pajamas, she's like just flat.
She's like a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah.
I would think if anything, it'd be, like, for example, like Coco and Velvet came back. I think characters that we saw come back now in this new engine or something, they would have big ol' honkers. Mm-hmm. But I don't think Team RWBY specific. Maybe Nora will get some chunk on her.
Nora's already stacked.
She's so thin now, and like it makes sense. They walked across that entire continent. She's gonna lose some weight. But I like
with her like legs.
Her arms and legs.
Yeah. She used to be.
I liked chunky Nora.
Well, I don't know if she was ever chunky. She was literally ever. She's so thick.
As far as animes are concerned,
they like it's that thing where in Skyrim where you have your weight slider on 100 instead of 70, and it's like, ooh, my boobs changed a bit. I feel like maybe just pick one and stick with it, guys. Weiss's tits are big now. Let's keep if suddenly in volume 8 they're just like back to being
a mastectomy,
and it's like, why, guys? It's like they saw your video and they're like, oh, gotta fix that. I'm like, no, just keep it consistent.
This is also the same company where every volume Oobleck has had a different eye color.
Yeah.
And every outfit change, Nora's had a different eye color.
Yes.
Really? Yeah. And it's been like wavering between cyan and teal, you know? So it's not like a huge... It's not literally brown, blue, gold like Oobleck. But yeah, her
maybe that's Oobleck's special ability.
He's magic too.
He's the rainbow-eyed warrior. He's the horse of many colors.
Sorry. Oh my god, I can see the audio. I'm so sorry.
I was excited.
Look at that fucking peak.
You guys are on the perfect halves of the cardiac mic.
For everyone's headphones to be like just explode in your ears.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
I'm excited about Oobleck's gorgeous eyes.
They should have a horse of many colors.
I want that to be in Vacuo.
That would be neat.
I want them to be gorgeous.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool? I did nothing beyond that.
Yes. just that would be cool. Yeah, a pretty rainbow horse boy. Yeah. Those were the words. That was it.
Well, boy, you've decided.
I wanted it to be Ferdinand with rainbow hair.
That's fair. I'm Ferdinand von Rainbow Hair. Let's move on to question number 2 from Floof.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it was covered in one of your vids, but thoughts on the mermaid faunus having like 10 traits?
Okay, so I've seen this people crying about why do the mermaids have so many faunus traits, and I'm like, bitch, they don't. They have fins, and some of them have scales, and like, I don't know. I don't see, because in the official artwork, Blake has, like, cat eyes as well as her cat ears. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not multiple faunus traits. It's not like the mermaid faunus have... We've got our elbow fins and a dolphin fin on the back, and also my gills. I've got gills as, like, I don't know. I don't see this as having 10 different faunus traits. It just feels like multiple elements of the same faunus creeping through the skin.
I didn't think about it until it was brought up, and I was like, a little bit, because, like, for example, Neon has a tail, but Blake doesn't, but we've never seen a fish faunus with the fish ears, but not fish webbing hands. Okay. They've always had both the ears and the webbing hands. Okay. So I'm like, man, I don't know. Maybe fish are different. Fish are closer to I don't know. I felt like I was getting close to being fish faunus racist with that statement.
I could feel what's happening.
I think it was more they need to look right swimming, because imagine like they had just the like fish ears, which is weird.
Or it's like I'm human and I only have gills.
Just
like regular human limbs.
That would be pretty miserable.
They're also like background characters. Not even like a cute, oh, Sienna's kind of cute, a background kind of character.
No, like they don't. They're just
Like, they are not important. This is not the thing to be getting up in arms about. And to call Rooster Teeth worthless and useless like how people on a subsect of Reddit like to do. It's just some background fish people. I see nothing wrong with them having webbed hands and funny looking ears. It seems harmless to me, personally.
I can understand why people who are big sticklers for RWBY lore might get frustrated with this kind of thing. Because I think it's not so much of, like, this specific problem, and more of, like, that this is a regular occurring thing, at least from my perspective, where it's like, Rooster Teeth will say, this is the rule. And then people are like, well, what about this, and this, and this, and this, where it's, like, clear examples of
Faunus can see in the dark, like how the goat girl doesn't see Tyrion.
Yeah.
And
I can't find Ilya.
Gotta burn my house down.
Yeah, I so it's not. It's not something worth, in my opinion, getting overly frustrated about. But I can understand the yet another straw being added onto the camel's back, where it's like, if you are going to make a lore for your fictional world, make a lore early, and then stick to it.
Yeah.
Because when you have this constant, like, readjusting, and even if it's little things, I think it's inevitable that people are going to catch on to those little things.
Yeah.
Fair, yeah.
And they're going to start getting frustrated when it's like you said this was how your world worked.
Yeah.
Why don't you keep to that?
Fun fact, I've heard that, I don't know how valid this is, but I have heard that Monty did want the ability to put multiple Faunus traits onto the Faunus, but Maya was too limited. He couldn't do that.
That's, I think limitation can lead to interesting art design.
I agree.
I won't get up in arms with the mermaid thing unless like a main character person shows up. They're like, I'm a fish faunus, and they don't have that. They have like only the fish, like the fish ears, or only the fins. It's like, well, why are these background characters this way?
Like special.
But now that you're like, now we're readjusting how the fish faunus thing is
Or
working.
perhaps more like if
to be aesthetically pleasing.
if a cat faunus showed up who did have ears and a tail.
Right.
Yeah.
It's that thing again, like with the boobs, where it's like, okay, you've already changed it once. Just keep it now. Just keep it.
Don't change it again.
Consistency is better than attempting to backpedal again, and trying to find that happy medium, because you're creating a big whiplash within your fan base, and you're making it hard to kind of tell, like, what is canon information.
Yeah. Especially because they hide so much of their canon info in supplemental material.
It makes
and it's like
the show very unapproachable, I would imagine,
Yeah.
to people who like just completely no connection to RWBY ahead of time. They come into the show,
They don't
and
watch
it's
the
like,
trailers.
and it's like, wow, I can't keep up with what's supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
So, okay, so question number 3. We're on 3, right? Yeah. It's worded a little weird. What are your thoughts on the writers failing to present Ironwood as an irredeemable bad guy, which is what they attempted to do, and RWBY as good guys, even though they are responsible for dooming Atlas and Mantle by committing treason?
Is that what they were attempting to do? I feel like they were trying to do a morally gray character.
That sounds like an opinion.
I feel like it's I don't think it's anything new to Ironwood, because I feel like I don't think Ironwood's a bad guy now. I just think he's an anti-hero, I guess, if anything. But they also attempted to make Ozpin an irredeemable, unlikable dude, and that didn't really... The characters acted that way, but I never felt that way.
I do feel like they tend to struggle a little bit with trying to do these morally gray characters.
Like Raven from earlier.
I think it doesn't help that characters... So Winter is sticking around with Ironwood, but Penny, who we see as like a morally like good and pure character, is not sticking around with Ironwood. Even though in theory she should have just as much loyalty to Ironwood as she would to Penny and crew.
Yeah. RWBY and crew.
what did I say?
Penny.
Oh, sorry.
Penny and Penny. Penny and her
Penny.
clone robot Penny.
RWBY's Penny's clone. So it makes it seem as though the only reason why someone would stick around with Ironwood would be out of pure like duty, as opposed to like this is a morally just decision.
I didn't think his problem was his idea was flawed, but not awful.
Right, I agree. I'm just saying, I feel like the way that they have the alliances kind of like fall into place, it makes it hard for them to actually successfully write a morally gray character. For example, when they were trying to do morally gray Oz, no one was on Oz's side.
Yeah.
Everyone was just demonizing him. So it made it feel like they wanted us to see him as just
Villain.
Yeah. But he wasn't being portrayed as a villain because I think they were going for morally gray, but they didn't have characters split on the issue. And same with Ironwood. Mm-hmm. Aside from Winter, no one is on Ironwood's side.
Yeah.
And so, again, even people who had previously advocated for him, I say people, I just mean Nora. No, not Nora.
She was against him.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
right, yeah. Don't forget the Aesops.
Yeah,
but they're just following orders now. That's my least favorite
But
line.
it is the same thing. It's the same thing as Winter. They're not sticking around with Ironwood because they trust and believe in him.
Yeah.
They are in a military, and
they are
following
just following orders. Yeah.
So I think that it's not so much that they're like trying to make Ironwood be a bad guy. I just think that they genuinely struggle with having disagreements in morality in the main character group.
Yeah.
Like, they'll argue about little things, but they won't split over them. And I think that that's why these characters come across as so one note, like, it's me, Ironwood, the bad guy now.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Floof is under the impression that Team RWBY going against Ironwood, doing their treason. How on earth that is the reason why Atlas is in turmoil?
Yeah, I think the giant whale would be more.
Yeah,
Allison
like even if
than
RWBY had been like, sounds great, Oz, let's go forward with your plan, Monstro would have still shown up at the end. Mm-hmm. Team RWBY didn't affect anything. Their actions made zero impact on the plot. Really, they fought the Aesops. Like they even though they decided against, like, we're not gonna follow Ironwood. Right. Ironwood still doesn't have the staff, and they don't have the staff. They just disagreed and ran away. Them doing treason, that didn't matter.
No.
So, based on RWBY lore with how the Grimm worked, I guess you could argue that the conflict that there's clearly some negative emotions going on there, that probably didn't help, but I also feel like they play very fast and loose with that rule.
Yeah.
So
Negative emotions attract the Grimm when the script needs it to.
Yes.
Right.
Just like how the relic attracts the Grimm when the script needs it.
And also,
it definitely feels more
there.
likely that the rioting was probably the big reason why the Grimm attacked, and not so much the interpersonal conflict in a relatively small group of people. But maybe I'm misunderstanding like an element of this question.
Maybe. Question number 4 from Floof. Do you think the writers are smart enough to just have Fiona use her semblance on Salem and keep her trapped in a parallel dimension for all eternity? I don't think it works on people.
Yeah, we have no evidence to say that Fiona... Goat Girl has a pocket dimension in her hand.
Thank you for seeing my confusion.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was like, the fuck
You
is
don't remember
Fiona?
every tiny
Who
character's
is
name.
Fiona?
Goat Girl has a pocket dimension in her hand. We see her, like, collect a truck.
Right.
There's no evidence that she can do it to people.
I thought it was just a bag of holding, really.
We don't know how long she can hold onto her pocket palm.
Right.
If you use, in theory, if you use your semblance, it depletes her aura. So I guess once her aura was gone, it would just pop back out.
Yeah.
In theory.
Yeah,
in theory.
That's
Also depending on the writing.
We is it also morally okay to subject Fiona to being a human prison for all eternity?
Oh, and then when she dies.
Yeah, and then when
Salem
she
just
dies,
comes
does
back
Salem
up.
just
Yeah.
come back?
Yeah.
I think
it's kind of that thing where it's like, even if this is a possibility, I think this would be the equivalent of throwing the Ring of Power into the ocean as opposed into Mount Doom.
Exactly.
It'll work for a while, but it will eventually resurface.
It's a Band-Aid solution.
So,
Yeah.
Also,
it
I
would be
doubt
interesting though if she can pocket dimension people.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that they're not going to explore that. I don't think that would be something that they would try.
Yeah.
I feel, and maybe this is subjective, I feel like usually they don't expand too much on creative ideas for, like, what the semblances could do.
Yeah.
Like, it's usually like, this is my thing, and this is all I use it for.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rarely like, Nora, quick, we need you to get there fast. Let's stick a fork in the electric socket. And then she just goes. Like, they very rarely
Do
come
that.
up with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So even if this were possible, I don't think they would do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't present it as are the writers smart enough, but rather, would that make even the best story?
No.
Like,
Right.
Also, that'd be kind
someone
of
could also just snipe Salem in the head, and that's boring,
Yeah.
you know? At some point, good ideas hurt the creativity.
It's like, why don't the Eagles just take the ring to Mount Doom
murder
themselves?
themselves.
I would hope that Fiona.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would hope that she can't put people in her pocket dimension, because then you have the. If any of you fine folks have watched Inuyasha, I like Inuyasha.
Another. Let's bring back that.
Yeah, Inuyasha podcast. So there's a character in Inuyasha, and he has a black hole in his hand. He is a side character. He is not the main character. And he has a vacuum, a vortex, and he can pull in anything, regardless of size, power, whatever. He can put that in that vacuum hole, and it's gone forever. The problem is gone. And so they create this character, and then they desperately have to come up with reasons why he can't use this black hole power on
Everything?
on everything. And so there's always, like, these stupid, like, little conveniences of why he can't do
Oh,
it.
the bad guy's surrounded by poisonous flies.
The poison bugs, darn it. I'll
he
get
is
a boo-boo
he
if
is
I
a
use it. And so...
Special charm of no magic.
And so I would desperately hope that they wouldn't present this as a possibility, because then it'll be like, we'll just use the one hit. Just use the easy kill, and it's like, then we don't have a story.
Yeah.
So hopefully they don't even put this on the table.
Yeah.
And this
otherwise it'll be real boring.
And this last one, I was a little confused, because I think he might have his info. I did some research on this one question. Did you know Weiss's time dilation from Volume 2 is never used again because the sprite is ripped from Final Fantasy? So I tried to find this, and it doesn't help that he doesn't specify which Final Fantasy. So I just went through all, because there's a time mage, and I'm like, even Bravely Default has like a time person or whatever, but I couldn't find anything that looked specifically like Weiss's glyph, and like, in Amity Arena, she uses time dilation with her Bumblebee.
Yeah.
one.
Does it look different?
And that's, I'm gonna say, that's the important thing.
Right.
Is if they did rip the model or whatever it is.
Right, it would be like the animation style.
They could just change how it looks.
Yes.
You don't
Like-
have to completely get rid. I think they don't use time dilation because they've really latched on to the summoning idea. I think it's more
And the same reason why Weiss doesn't fence anymore.
exactly.
That is fascinating though, and if you could pretty please write what like Final Fantasy that is from.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see like a side by side like comparison.
It's also-
I'm assuming it's the animation.
I think
I think
that's
it's
being
the
referred
glyph.
to like
Yeah. I think it's
I-
the time clock thing, which I feel like I have seen.
I think I remember Monty saying it was inspired by that, but I don't know if they ripped it. I also don't know if they could rip something from Final Fantasy and put it into the Poser engine.
But Dead Fantasy. Though.
Dead
Oh, that
Fantasy
is true.
exists.
Yes.
The
Yes.
whole of
Never
Dead
mind.
Fantasy.
Never mind.
I think okay. So I've only played one Final Fantasy, and it's 10, and everyone can tell that 10 is Monty's favorite Final Fantasy because if you look, Tidus and Yuna are clear inspirations for Sun Wukong and Blake Belladonna. You can tell. That's fine. That's okay. Everyone has inspirations. I'm feeling like Floof might be referring to when you do, like, a speed-up move, like, make myself go faster, make the enemy go slower. I feel like there's a similar sprite thing.
Or a spell thing, or...
Yeah, an effect. But still, the point remains that they could just not use the Final Fantasy thing.
Right.
Yeah, and change it.
But it could, and this is purely speculation at this point because we don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But it could be, if it were the case that they stopped using it because they were fearful of copyright issues.
Yeah.
It could be the Porygon effect, where
Yeah.
the reason why Porygon is in no Pokemon anything anymore is because of that one movie that gave people seizures.
It was
and
just an episode.
And it wasn't a movie?
Nope, it was an episode.
Well, but now Porygon has been locked in the dungeons, and never to be
just
spoken
like
of again.
Alakazam.
Yeah.
Is there an
Alakazam.
Yeah, the
Alakazam?
Abra family. It's not Alakazam.
Pokemon podcast.
It's
Because of
Uri Geller. Kadabra is named after Uri Geller, who was a magician.
No,
and
it's designed after him.
well, whatever. And he didn't like that. So now, like, Abra will show up and stuff, and Alakazam will show up and stuff, but not Kadabra.
Oh!
Because
Yeah.
Uri Geller's got his I do spoons thing. I'm the only one who can bend spoons. So this Pokemon is clearly copywriting my image.
Oh.
I think I would rather
Is
argue...
Uri Geller even still alive?
I'm like,
I don't
who
know.
is this person?
Is this a magician?
He's the beta version of
Okay, so...
what's his name? The magician that is also very fake.
I don't know.
I think we're
My
definitely
good joke
going
is
on a
ruined.
tangent. It would have been very funny. We would have all clapped.
I would argue rather time dilation isn't being used because all it did was speed you up, and the characters already move at supersonic speed.
That's true.
So I don't think it really is adding anything.
It's a shame though, because you put time in anything,
Yeah.
and I am hyped. I love time shit. So I think it's a shame that I don't know much about time dilation. I forgot that it was an element literally at all.
It was in one volume, used twice.
But it's a shame that isn't used more, and that speed up is the only, because you could do so much cool stuff with time powers. Are you kidding me? But whatever. It's whatever.
Alright, that was the end of the Floof comments.
Okay.
So this one is from Skullboy.
Thank you, Floof, by the way.
Thank you, Floof. Yes.
I don't agree with all of your questions or theories,
But thank you for
thank you.
participating.
I appreciate the support. I don't comment, reply to you often, but I see you.
No, this next one's from Skullboy. Thank you, Skullboy. Do you think we're going to see Oscar have his own adventure, trying to survive in Mantle for most of the volume? Or is he going to meet back up with Team RWBY immediately?
So, here's the thing. I think it's very likely that Oscar could have his own adventures right now, because he is currently separated.
Yeah.
And the cast of characters is so big that it's much more digestible to have your party members split and go off on their own little adventures. I kind of hope they don't, because at least in my opinion, right now, Oscar is one of the most interesting elements in the show. Specifically the fact that his potential dynamic with the plot in general is, I have no idea where it could go, and I'm fascinated. But because that's so interesting to me, I worry that if you just have Oscar alone, and then it's like, let's see how the big crew's doing, that it'd be like, no, cut back to the interesting plotline. I don't care what Jean's doing right now.
I don't care about RWBY.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to know what Maria is up to right now? She's gonna say a funny one-liner, and it'll be great, and you'll all laugh.
She'll yell her line, and we'll pretend that's a joke.
I like Maria, by the way.
Yes.
I like her character.
Yeah,
it's
she's
just, this cast is huge.
And we have now 2 old people, both with disabilities. One is blind, one can't use his legs.
Ageist and ableist over here.
No. you were halfway through saying your thing, and I had a Jimmy Neutron brain blast, and now I want this to happen. I hope Oscar's like dicking around in Mandel. He's like, I gotta find my team, and then the fucking Happy Huntresses pop out of the shadows, and they're like, we're looking for Robin. She was taken, and Crow was taken with her to jail, and then Oscar and the Happy Huntresses go on adventures together. That's what I want. To break Crow and Robin out of jail.
I predict
Oscar in a jail heist. Oscar becomes criminal. John's like, where's my son? And he sees
where's my boy?
he sees like news footage of Oscar breaking and entering, and he's like, my boy!
Because I'm also desperate for the Happy Huntresses to get...
Well, it's fine.
It's been peeking all over the place. Just ignore it at this point.
I'm also I'm desperate for the Happy Huntresses to get like more development, because I think we could do something cool with them, and I think that'd be a cool way of doing it. If not the Happy Huntresses, then maybe Team Funky or maybe Winter or something. I hope
The cast is so big. Don't bring more people. Don't make Team Funky relevant. Don't do it.
Bad.
No, there's too many people. Did you see that clown car at the end when they're pulling away and they're like, I can't believe only we escaped. And it's so many people.
They've included 2 more characters.
And there's so many like clashing colors and just all just packed into this
pretty
tiny
ugly.
space.
I predict Oscar. I predict Oscar will reconvene with Hero Group. I don't think it'll be immediate. I'm expecting episode 6 because they have the consistent thing of nothing happening for 5 episodes. Episode 6 happens and oh shit, everything kicked off. And then nothing happens for a couple more episodes and then the finale begins and everything continues to move forward. So I'm planning episode 6, Oscar finds the team. That's it.
I'm really hoping, as a bit of an aside, I'm really hoping that traditional RWBY format of nothing happening and then nothing interesting can really happen until the last couple of episodes.
Yeah.
I'm really, really hoping that'll be shaken up by the fact that we ended on an invasion.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they would, at this point, have to try very hard to have the first episode be as toothless as it usually is.
Yeah. Alright, next question. This one is from Lunar Star. What's your favorite?
Why did you say it like that?
I wanted to make sure I said it right, because I have like I thought the A and the R were like backwards.
Okay. I
I'm
guess
like,
I was just like,
Lunra
that's the
or
first
Lunar?
like easy one we've had.
Favorite RWBY song?
Red Like Roses Part 2.
Oh, that really?
I called the best one. That's my favorite. You can't have the same favorite, apparently. Yeah, it's a great song, great story.
Good emotion.
Good emotion, but it also sounds good. Like it's not just the lyrics have the secret backstory in it. It's a good song. It sounds good paired with the action that it comes with. Yeah.
I'm kind of split, so I'm gonna say 2.5 songs because
okay,
I'm a
cheater.
One is Bumblebee.
I hate that one.
I'm not even a huge Bumblebee fan, but I liked the song. It was punchy. Clearly Jeff Williams cared when he wrote it because it wasn't written for the show.
Yeah.
He just made a song.
Yeah.
And so it sounds actually good. The other one,
sauce.
They're not all winners, okay? The other one is, I believe it's called Shine. It's a Pyrrha song talking about how, oh boy golly, I sure hope Jean dates me one day.
I thought that one was Dream Come True.
It is Dream Come True.
Yeah.
Thank you. There's two Pyrrha songs.
Okay. Shine is the other one. But
yeah, I like Dream Come True. I don't even like Pyrrha x Jean much, but I just liked how the song sounded.
Good emotional resonance.
Yeah,
with the songs.
The half is I haven't heard the full song yet, but the one that plays when Ironwood fights Watts.
Hero.
That one sounds real punchy. I'm excited to
Caleb
House. I'm excited to hear the lyrics because it sounds like they've hidden secret backstory bullshit in them. Because why put any of your backstory in the actual show? But for once, I'm intrigued by what little of the lyrics we've actually heard. And I liked that fight, mostly.
This is a complete tangent. I'm so sorry. The singer for that song, does he do covers on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, I feel like I've seen that name.
He's done many things. He covered he did an English version of Erased.
I saw that! Or rather, I listened to it. Good job, dude.
Yeah,
he's
he
great.
does lots of RWBY stuff before. He does some Disney stuff. That
Yes,
one was
yeah,
fun.
he's a delight.
Yes.
Cool.
My favorite RWBY song is Neon.
That's a good one.
It's fun. I like it. It's fun.
Can't pull it to mind.
It's
when
when-
does it play?
when
they're
they fight Team Funky.
yeah, in the
For the
third.
first time?
Yes, in the third one.
Okay. Cool.
I'm a neon rainbow and you're no fun.
I listen, I don't remember the song.
I like it. It's fun. I like the sassiness of it.
It's been a while.
All right, this is the last Twitter question.
Okay.
Oh man, this one's Persian slasher. I think is how you pronounce it. It's
Okay.
with 2 U's in slasher.
Okay.
Persian slasher. Least favorite aspect of every volume so far.
Oh, this is gonna be a meaty boy. Okay.
Okay. I'll go first.
Yeah, you're the best.
You thought this over many times.
Okay, so least favorite element of Volume 1,
Uh-huh.
the animation.
Yes. Yeah.
If you need an example, look at Ruby eating cookies.
Rather than going person by person, should we go volume by volume? for
Yes.
each of us?
So.
Oh shit!
Oh, okay.
No! I have to come up with my answers faster.
Okay, yeah. So what's your critter?
For volume 1,
Yeah.
the animation. It's just so. It's that. Okay. Episode 1, after watching the Red trailer about 900 times,
Oh,
Yeah.
and then I get to
yeah.
episode 1, and Ruby just kind of like glob cookies into her nebulous
Yo,
void.
remember the
I was
Jean
like,
arc
"Ugh."
and how clearly they put the B team on animating the Jean arc.
Like, there's some good moments. The fights are good.
Yeah.
But there's just a bit of walking.
Yeah, you'll never guess what my pick is. Yeah, it's also the animation. For me, the moment that had me really thrown was the very early attempt at 2D gags.
Oh, yeah.
Where Ruby goes like chibi form and oh
Yeah.
boy, it did not look good.
They tried.
You guys, you did your best, man.
Alright, volume 2, what's up? Twins.
The finale. Like the last episode. Because it looks so ugly. People who watch my videos will notice that we both edit for Twiins.
Yeah.
Will regularly use Ruby shittily kicking her circle of Beowulfs as an example.
They're all just standing there waiting to get kicked.
like for being the last episode of there's no effort put into the characters. They're all just smiling and shooting and having no issues. It's really ugly. The animation has taken a bit of a dive. It's mostly just looking at new people walk in and be like, we're here too. And it's like, great, son, I'm glad you're here too, I guess. And it's such a ungood one. Ungood. Like your grammar! Oh! It's just a bad way to end the volume with something so unsatisfying.
Right, that's fair.
Alright, Critter, me, because we sound the same, I don't want people to get confused.
No, this is a smart idea. Honestly, I kind of wish that we had like a way to signify who the fuck is talking.
Yeah.
If we could figure out between Jack and Ryan in Achievement Hunters.
We could figure out Twins and Critter.
Best of luck to y'all.
Mine, for volume 2, it's similar. It's in Mountain Glen. Because I get what they were trying to do. They really wanted to do this thing where the girls have to... we think the girls are one thing, but really they're something else. But everything that everything they say to Oobleck and everything that they tell to each other afterwards, we have already figured out as the audience. This was a conversation that should have happened in the Emerald Forest.
Yeah.
Not second season of the show. And also, the fight animation with the Grimm in the Mountain Glen is just also not amazing.
That's the ugly city.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
I used context clues. Not that I remembered. So, Volume 2 is one of my least rewatched parts of RWBY, so I'm very glad that you guys went before me because I couldn't really remember specific elements. But yes, now that you mention it, I remember being very frustrated with the let's talk about our surface level feelings and then talk about our real, true feelings. So,
and then the real, true feelings are the same. As they are. I did that research for the motivations discussion, and it's like, why?
It's just a very odd way of storytelling. I don't understand why you would have a group of characters and have another character ever be like, tell me what your motivation is. And it's like, well, I like punching dudes. And then secretly it's like, I actually have depression. And it's like, punching dudes is the only thing that makes me feel alive. And it's like, in what world is structuring a storytelling, like getting out character motivation, in what world is that a good, smooth format for it? It's clunky in no matter what form. Very often we've criticized the script in RWBY because it feels as though it is typed out fully in like a written format before the visuals are thought of. And so there are things that are told and not shown, but this is a visual medium and it could be more effectively done if it were shown instead. But this is one where I don't know how this scene came together, because in written form, in storyboard form, in animated form, why did I say it weird? In no form of media could that sound good. And I just am very perplexed by why they chose to do that.
We're on volume 3.
Yes.
Okay. My least favorite part of volume 3, that's really hard. I actually really like volume 3. Someone else go first. Critter, you go first.
I can go.
You go first.
I don't like volume 3.
What?
No,
I can't be friends anymore.
I've never liked volume 3, and my easy thing to say would be Cinder. Number 1 Cinder anti-stan. But that's too easy. So what I'm actually going to say is, I feel like tournament arcs can be a very fun way of showcasing like powers and relationships and interesting quirky side characters. Most of the characters who are showcased in the tournament arc are deeply and profoundly boring on every conceptual level.
What, you don't like Team Bronze? Bronze kneecaps?
It's like they are so unquirky. And it's like, this is a tournament arc. Make these fuckers teleport. Make the best team, the one that everyone remembered and that they brought back, was Team Funky.
Yeah.
Because they were interested. They were the only one. If you have a tournament arc and that is going to be the bulk of your volume, make these characters crazy, make them interesting, make them so that I can look at them and be like, oh yeah, that was the one that could, like, I don't know, shoot butterflies out of their asshole. Anything better than I shoot gun and ride skateboard. Ooh! What a superpower!
I didn't expect you to
I almost died on my water!
come for this.
Just
Wow.
fuck off.
I thought of okay, go ahead.
Alright, judgmental critter me. My least favorite part about volume 3 is how RWBY has almost she doesn't really do anything. And then when Penny dies, she kind of gets over it really quickly. She sits there and she goes, "Oh no, Penny!" And then she cries, and then she's immediately back up and she's stabbing Grimm, and she's like, "Let's go riding my rocket launcher."
Yeah, and that wouldn't be as big of a problem if it wasn't for the fact that, like, in volume 4, she's still not, like, if in volume 4 we got to see her be like, "Oh, boo-hoo-hoo, Penny's dead. I'm sad about that." Then it'd just be like, she handled herself for the battle, but she's still torn up about it. But the fact that she never fucking talks about Penny implies that, she just kind of gets over it real fast.
For having such a big moment at the end of the volume, she did very little. I feel like we could have done more with her, especially because Yang was going through so much, and a Crow was there. RWBY could have been a very big, like, it's seeming like side character for them, but like it all adds up to being big in the end.
Yeah. My thing, I figured out, is actually very similar to yours, and it's the fact that they just decided Pyrrha's the protagonist now. And don't get me wrong, I really like everything Pyrrha did, and that's the closest the show's ever come to having, like, a real good plot, is when Pyrrha's dealing with Destiny and Maidens, and oh golly, this is so stressful. What was the name of the show again? Who cares? It's the Pyrrha show. And yeah, it's just the fact that they decided Pyrrha has to be the protagonist now.
Right.
It's so much of just Pyrrha.
Right.
And I think, while written well, it's a mistake that they just simply can't write RWBY to be the protagonist, you know?
Mm-hmm. Or, well, I think the most frustrating thing about that is I feel like that could have very easily been avoided if they had started the Pyrrha Destiny stuff earlier.
Yeah.
If you had started that earlier and then more evenly distributed it throughout the rest of the volumes, then this volume, the one where Pyrrha dies, wouldn't be so wholly Pyrrha-centric. And if anything, her death could have been way more impactful.
Yeah.
Because you so wouldn't expect something like that for a character who's being so slowly and carefully developed. You wouldn't expect their stories done.
Yeah.
True.
It's cut short, and that was her destiny to die. Like
I mean, her
I
name
feel like
is
that,
Pyrrha.
Yeah, but I feel like that could have been more impactful if they had spread it out a bit instead of
I agree.
just it's the Pyrrha show, like you said.
Yeah.
I like how you both said your points like very like calmly and nicely, and I was like screaming.
Your butterflies out your asshole.
Sorry.
Volume 4 is easy, it's the animation again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think I've mentioned before that I think it's just aging poorly. But, like, it's just... Where's the shading? How come no sunlight exists anywhere? How come everyone moves really stiff? How come... Yo, remember that one time when the Knuckleavi ran forward and instead of having any kind of weight or momentum or anything, Ren and Nora, PlayStation 1, turned to each other and then turned back, and then we look at Ren go, her, and then he touches the floor, and then googly, John and Crow are grayed out.
It sounds like you're describing a Newgrounds animation.
It's basically, and it's like, it looks better than Volume 1, but it doesn't look great, and every year that passes, it looks worse. So, yeah.
My thing for Volume 4? Yang. How we just jumped over an entire fucking character arc with Yang. Oh man, I've lost my arm. I'm suffering. Oh man, I got a robot arm now. I gotta figure. Okay, I'm fine. Everything's back to normal. It's like it's just as fine as before.
It's like I lost my arm so I could get a quirky new design element because someone wanted me to have a robot arm, and because they needed Team RWBY to be separated. Because that's what it is.
I just complete missing so many great things they could have done with Yang.
Yeah.
And they just skipped over it to be with them. Fine, and start suffering on Menagerie. Let's use our screen time for this shit.
What about you?
So you guys both made really good points, so I'm gonna make a stupid nitpicky one.
Yeah.
This isn't my biggest complaint about Volume 4, but you guys basically already talked about my other two ones.
Cool.
And I don't have anything to expand upon it, so I'm going to complain about the fact that every time they get to a town and it's like, bad things have happened, the sky like darkens, like rapidly the clouds just roll in and they're like, quick, the atmosphere, hurry! And it's like consistent. And the problem is, I am very like spatially challenged. I have an extremely hard time, in real life as well, but differentiating between, like, locations, and, like, I need, like, fucking landmarks and shit. So, like, when you have a show, and it's like, we have reached new town, and you color everything gray, I can't tell where I am. And so in my memory, I know that in Volume 4, these characters are traveling to multiple different locations. It's all just the land of forest and gray. Because every time they get to a town, something bad has happened. And that means the atmospheric
has to be
moon
gray.
clouds have to roll in thundering, they're foreshadowing.
It's that trope of something sad is happening, the rain.
Thank God it's raining so I can stand out and it looks sad. And then the clouds can part and the sun can come out when in the end when the helicopters come. I'm pretty sure that happened at the end of Volume 4. They beat the Nickelodeon and then the clouds part, the sun shines, and the helicopters are like, don't worry kids, we're here now.
That did happen.
Fuck you. So it's that's my complaint.
Volume 5.
All of it.
The whole thing.
It's
Okay, actually though, let's try and like pick.
Yeah.
the finale. How they, I guess, shot themselves in the foot, and they decided that, oh no, we're running out of time and animation, and we can't do much for this volume finale. What should we do? Let's have 16 characters enter Mortal Kombat and keep that off screen. Let's make sure we write everything shittily because we're running out of time. So just have characters yell words.
Weiss threw herself into a wall.
Just have characters yell words, regardless of if it makes sense in universe or in comparison to what someone else just said. Because you're afraid of Salem. Yeah, I killed her because I wanted to. I thought you were good. This isn't a conversation. You're just saying fucking words. Not only could you not animate any fight at all, and what little action we saw looked like shit, but the script was completely haphazard and embarrassing. The finale is the reason why, Volume 5's finale, is the reason why RWBY has lost so many viewers. It's the worst RWBY's ever been.
Yeah.
Fair.
Try and think of something else.
Honestly, it's the
Eating
fact
dinner.
that they're sitting around just doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like, no, none of them are. Like, Weiss and Yang show up and they just sit around do nothing. Ranger starts the entire plot sitting around doing nothing. And then Blake and Sun are sitting around doing nothing until finally they're like, oh, look, the finale's happening. And then they fight Ilya, and then the finale happens, and then they stand around doing nothing. It's just, for being so strapped for time with animating the finale, it's amazing how much
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Like that's the thing. It's like, the animation in this talking head scene is lame in this episode. That's because the fight that's going to happen has a lot of effort and budget put into it.
You think that they're funneling the budget.
Yeah.
But there's
like every show does.
That's just we could have, rather than just sitting around doing nothing, we could have sat around and like talked at least.
At least talk about something interesting.
Maybe even argue or something, but not just sitting around saying things that happened before.
Recap.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to harp on that final fight. Because I am a big dumb meathead and I love me a good stupid fight. You put 16? Did you say 16?
Yeah, it's like that.
I'll trust you on that because I'm not fucking counting them. But you put all these action figures into a pit and you're like, go! Fight! And then it's like we hear like, ha! Yeah! Ting ting off screen, and meanwhile, like, Weiss is like, whoa, as she's like balancing on her little like stupid and I gotta do a summon. Yeah! Oh no, I got interrupted again. Oh fuck, let me try again. And it's like, stab! Wait, your sword! It's pointy! Do a stab! Do anything!
Stab her! Shoot her!
You have the perfect setup, and you just take Crow is going to fight Raven, and it's just like the most boring like pair-ups,
yeah,
and like you don't explore it all or like with team attacks or literally anything, and like I get that there's a reason for it, that they fucking ran out of money. But that doesn't make the scene not horrible,
yeah,
and frustrating to watch when it's like when so much cool shit could be happening and we're looking at people walk slowly and talk slowly and it's like, go! Swing a sword! Do anything!
Being strapped for money isn't a death sentence by any means.
At least cheated or something.
My best example is Cowboy Bebop. I don't remember It's called Wild Horses, the episode, and it's like the ugliest episode of
That's
Cowboy
true.
Bebop. Spike spends like the whole episode just sitting around Mars or Earth, I don't know, doing...
I think it was Earth.
Yeah, drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes and talking, and we get like we got the lighting guy to voice all three of the bad guys who have reused animation multiple times, and like there's just not a whole lot happening, and it's ugly, and I fucking love that episode because they were like, we only have $2 and some Chuck E. Cheese tokens to make this episode. So what do? Well, we'll pay the lighting guy and the Chuck E. Cheese tokens, and then we'll dedicate all those $2 to a beautiful shot of a rocket ship going off into space to go save Spike.
Right.
And they used their limited time, budget, energy to make the important part matter.
Right. So you're saying that like it's not even a good excuse that they ran out of money because if they had budgeted properly and maybe spend a little bit less money on this lavishly animated bowl of ramen. I don't actually know if that's where the money went.
Yeah,
but like this could have been avoided
if they just used their limited resources well.
Or maybe don't present such a cool scenario to me and then expect me to be not disappointed when I don't get to see it be cool.
Exactly.
If you have all these
you?
characters trying to do a thing, rather than be like an invasion type scenario, have it an espionage.
Yeah.
So then there's no reason for them to be fighting because they're not trying to be seen until the end. But let's move on. We're spending a lot of time on this question.
Well, we hate Volume 5. So, we're going to spend the most time on Volume 5 in particular.
Volume 6, I'm going to start.
Go ahead.
Fucking Pyrrha statue. Yeah. I hate it. It's so obnoxious just how in your face it is. Like, hey, remember when you were sad? Remember how this made John sad? So of course the only thing around here for miles and miles is the one gigantic fucking pillar of an entity of your sad. Be sad! Can't make this natural at all.
You go.
Oh shit! I've been thrown in. So unfortunately, I'm trying to think of something other than the Pyrrha statue to talk about. But and I don't know if I've talked about this before, in a format where YouTube could hear me, as opposed to just talking about it to you guys. But my biggest frustration with the Pyrrha statue scene is that the same emotion and information could have been conveyed in 5 seconds or less.
But you don't want Jen Brown to emotionlessly, shittily voice mysterious red-haired woman
literally
for no reason?
Chop the entirety out of Jean's conversation with redheaded woman. We do not need it. It does not add anything to the emotional impact of the scene. Just have him see the statue, have sad music play. You don't need Ren and Or to leave.
Yeah.
Just have them
see the
statue with him.
But they didn't want to bone Pyrrha, so they can't be sad about her death.
And then have their line of Jean, you gotta stop. And then scene done. It's done. You don't have to have a character specifically designed to be hi, I know you're sad. And John's yeah. And then she's I'm gonna talk about Pyrrha. Do you remember Pyrrha? And John's and it's so long. It's so long, and there were other important things that had to be done.
Oscar!
You didn't finish
Where did he go?
Oscar's story. You literally had him do it off screen. And Bumblebee are two of your main characters. They are so important. And if you are going to have them start a relationship, oh my god, spend more time on that, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Just cut this scene
out
to a fraction of what it originally was.
Yep.
And give that screen time, even if you leave Oscar in the dust. Fucking fine. He's
At
used
least
to it.
to Bumblebee.
But at least give it to the two main girls. Why not?
Good, since you guys covered all the statue, which is really my least favorite part, I'll play wild card and say basically everything that has to do with Cordovan.
That's a good one.
Talking to Cordo is boring, and then fighting her mech is so tensionless. I feel nothing except a sharp point of fury as RWBY shittily Naruto runs across one of her missiles.
That was pretty shitty.
It was so ugly. Why did they do that?
And she like bounces upward with like the strangest momentum of like you're running forward at something but you're jumping just up like Mario but without tilting the controls.
Yeah, Cordo in her entirety should have just not existed.
I like Cordo in the same way I like watching Pokemon handle Team Rocket. I know, I understand why people don't like Cordo.
At least I like Team Rocket.
But I have the same, like, goofy, dumb, giant robot energy.
Cool, don't have that for the finale.
That was the biggest
Don't waste so much time on that when it's like, oh shit, Blake and Yang might die, or kill a man.
a Cordo-like character would have worked very well in Volume 5.
Yes.
We were very bored. It would have been very nice to have had a goofy, like, I'm gonna stop you, heroes! Like, that kind of, like, character. And it's like, fuck you, Team Rocket. Fuck you, boot lady. But no, you put this in a time where we really don't need another villain.
Yeah.
So, and Volume 7.
The dissonance between the two halves is what I'm gonna say. It feels like two completely different stories.
The beginning and the end.
Yeah, it's political plot. Politics all the way, Jose. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly it's grim invasion and martial law. And they don't jive.
No.
They don't mix at all. And I think that's a shame that it's like it's two completely different stories. It's just one right after another.
Yeah, I feel like it could help if we had an idea what Watts and Tyrion were machinations.
What were they even doing?
Like, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Playing Yahtzee. My least favorite part of Volume 7 is Robin.
Oh, fuck. I should have said that.
All of Robin.
I hate Robin so
Everything
much.
about her character.
I hate her so much, I ejected her from my brain.
If I have to pick a highlight of Robin being the worst character, it's tied between her causing the plane crash when she wasn't even under arrest, or throwing the chair and just yelling, also!
By the way, fam, I don't care who voices her. That doesn't matter.
That doesn't fix the character.
It doesn't change anything. Okay, we're good.
Robin.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the problem. I'm very certain that there's something more interesting for me to talk about than my furious hate boner for Robin. Because there were structural, important story issues with Volume 7. I really liked Volume 7, but there are issues with it. But she's like a lightning rod. She's so hateable that, like, my attention is completely drawn and absorbed to this hateable woman. How dare you make Robin Hood not cool? You
Robin Hood stan.
Number one Robin Hood stan. But like, also just your character is the worst.
She's so bad.
So we've been going for quite a while, but there's still some comments on YouTube that I would like to touch on.
Yeah, absolutely. Who had this question again?
I closed Twitter.
How dare you?
It was, they had a name that you couldn't read.
It was like something Smasher.
Boy, that narrows it down.
Persian Smasher.
Thank you, Persian Smasher.
Slasher. Thank you, Persian Slasher.
Persian Slasher. Thank you for giving us a good way for us to vent about Volume 5 some more.
It was a good question. That could have been a whole podcast in itself.
It really could have. We've talked about that for a while.
So let's quickly go over some on YouTube that I really liked.
Quickly, quotes.
Yeah. Nothing's quick about anything we do.
This is from Nick Smith. If you could smash any RWBY character, who would it be?
Oh my god!
Hazel!
What a good... Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone.
Runner-up Ironwood.
What a good question. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I knew this question. I didn't think about this at all.
Yeah, I pick Hazel. If he's not available, I'll take Ironwood.
I would pick Coco, but I'm not a lesbian. And I'm not...
You can platonically smash.
You just like... the appearance of her.
Yeah.
You're not sexually attracted to her.
Yeah, sure.
like,
I'm like, it's like
Our mother's eyebrow.
she's my favorite. I don't know. Like,
Do you have an answer? My
I'm
answer is
thinking,
so
I'm
fast.
thinking, I'm frantically scrolling. I
like
can't say all
thinking
of
of
them.
all of the boy characters, all 4 of them.
What, neither of you want to smash Leonardo?
No.
Ooh, black.
I guess.
Flint coal.
I guess I'd go with Torchwick if he was alive.
Alright.
Because he was charming. He was fun.
Seemed too twiggy to be smashed.
I'm gonna say Ty and Crow are
At the same
probably-
time.
Don't expose me.
Good
yeah.
answers.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Ty and Crow. Specifically Crow when he's not being a soggy piss baby.
Crow in his new outfit.
I don't want to deal with his whining ass. So if he's gonna be a baby about it, then no. But Ty, hell yeah.
He's tasty. Look at all that chest.
We have one from Roxana Nava.
Cool name, Roxana.
Neva? Roxana. They had a couple, but we kind of touched on all these topics. But this one is just a favorite character design.
Ooh. Oh, I'm gonna say Penny's redesign.
That's a good
yeah.
one.
I
That's
love
a good
it
one.
because it looks very Mega Man.
It does.
I love her big stompy boots.
Yeah.
She looks great. She has such a visually interesting silhouette.
She is
and,
cute.
and her design is like very like there's no element of it that's like, oh, that's over designed or that's like a weird nonsensical element. Like
Yeah.
it's very cute and like the green and the pink and it like the colors just look really nice together. So yeah, I took the best one, Penny.
Good answer. Critter, do you have an answer?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Coco. Not Coco. I love Coco. Her design could be better. It doesn't seem very combat.
Oh, so what?
I know.
Fuck off.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say Young Maria.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I like
That's
Young Maria.
solid.
Nice.
I like her like curly hood.
She's cool.
I feel like I'm forgetting an obvious answer for this. Like, I feel like
If you remember it, just
I'm gonna
scream
angrily
real loud.
yell a name
Yeah.
out.
You'll be very startled.
But I'm going to say Yang's alt outfit in Volume 2.
Oh, that was good.
I don't remember.
It's great. It's the only time she's ever had yellow, actually, on her. It just looks really cute. I like all the black in the design. It looks tasty. With, like,
Little purple butt cape.
yeah. I like she's got, like, bows on her shoes. They're really cute shoes. I care about shoes a lot, guys. They're so cute. So I'm gonna say that.
Nice.
This is the Infernity Zero.
Cool name.
Infernity. They have 2 that I like. One is, what do you think, or rather, why do you think Tyrion said he was interested in Jean?
Big bottom energy.
Stop.
I don't know if the writers even remember that.
I didn't.
I'm gonna say his aura. I'm good because Tyrion's semblance
yeah.
is he can like tear aura ?
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna say Tyrion could like catch on like Jean's got a lot of it
Okay.
or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna steal yours because I don't have any answer.
Okay.
Aside from quick make Jean important again.
I think it'd be interesting if it was like related to one of his sisters. Like if one of Jean's sisters was the Summer Maiden.
Stop bringing in more characters. Stop it.
My original theory was that one of them was the Spring Maiden because the thing was Tyrion find the Spring Maiden.
Oh,
Never
yeah.
mind, go find. And then because he was ready to find Spring,
Right.
and he's like, that boy looks like Spring. I should investigate his family background.
Imagine Tyrion fighting Raven. He would get his ass handed
He
to
would.
him.
She wouldn't let that. He'd lose his tail again.
I feel like there isn't enough content yet of Tyrion wholly getting his ass handed to him. I feel like It was just not that it's like I want him to be like undercut because he's been set up as like a good a good powerful villain.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it'd be really funny and I'd laugh. And I'm selfish.
Yeah, Tyrion getting grumpy is like my favorite form of Tyrion. So.
I definitely someone made a compilation of every time Crow has punched Tyrion.
Oh, hell yeah!
It's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
And they had another question I liked, which is, what are some interactions that haven't happened yet that you would like to see? Example, Ruby and Blake, Weiss and Nora, John and Penny.
Literally anything, including Team RWBY actually talking to each other.
Nah.
I'll drop the salt for a second. I do think I would like to see more of Yang talking to RWBY. The fact that they're sisters could be lost on some people.
Yeah.
And I wish we just got to see more of that. Please.
I would like to see more of either, like, Nora and Weiss, specifically, if we could talk about, like, you know, differences from background, like a poor orphan and a rich girl.
Uh-huh.
Like, if they got to, like, talk and bond over something like that.
Yeah.
Or also, like, Ren and RWBY, because RWBY is so hyperactive, but not Nora kind of hyperactive. To see Ren talk with someone like that.
Yeah.
That isn't just Nora.
Question, was it phrased as, like, what conversations would you like to see more of, or what conversations would you like to see?
What conversation would you like to see? But I guess either would work.
Okay, because I would like, maybe a conversation between, Whitley and Oscar.
There's a subsect of the RWBY community who wants to ship them so hard.
I've seen that, and that's actually what made me think of it. I don't ship them, because they haven't interacted, so I don't. Yeah. I have no idea what
and
their
we're
dynamic
all
would be.
high-key Rose Garden stands.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
We gotta
really
be real. I want to see RWBY and Oscar hold hands.
That sounds so cute.
I just feel like they'd be really sweet. But that aside, I just want to see that interaction.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, I wouldn't have thought of it without the shipping fan art. But I just feel like they'd be an interesting dynamic, and I would want to see that.
Yeah.
And also, Whitley has not gotten to talk to, like, anyone.
Just for Weiss.
So I don't know what his character is going to be outside of his dynamic with her, because you interact differently with different people depending on who you're talking to, and he clearly has a bone to pick with Weiss, so I don't know who the fuck Whitley is. So honestly, having Whitley talk to anyone would be appreciated.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that. I would actually like to see the Schnee siblings, like, all together, like, being siblings.
Yeah.
Like
all in the same room at the same time.
Yeah, like
crazy talk.
Thanksgiving?
Absolute absurdity.
Like, we could have had that since they were all in the same building at the same time.
That didn't happen.
No.
That would have been nice.
This one is for me specifically by Clarabella Martinez. It says, "Hey senpai." That's me. I'm senpai. Hey senpai, will you do another video about the Madoka Magica witches, like in the Doppels from Magia Record? Yes, I am planning on doing more Madoka Magica videos. Thing is, they take a really long time to make. Like, the writing process for the first one took me 2 months, and then editing it together took another long while. So I'm working on it.
I'm also excited for that.
it's just a lot to do. But yes, I am planning on doing at least 2 more, but probably more after that, now that Magia Record is getting an anime. Dang it, I should have looked for the next question after that.
Is it not
you got
in
distracted
order?
by the one
Oh
for
wait,
you.
this is a similar one. Oh, it's by Cheyenne or Akira again! Only this one's on YouTube.
Oh! Akira!
Oh yeah!
Question. Would you or your twin maybe cover, or you, I guess.
I guess I'll go die. Thanks, Akira. No, that's totally valid. I don't do shit.
Would you maybe cover Voltron, My Hero Academia, Little Witch Academia, Owl House, or Over the Garden Wall?
That is a lot of things.
That is quite a lot of
That's
things.
a lot of things that I haven't watched.
I've watched some of My Hero Academia, and I did watch Over the Garden Wall, and I want to watch Owl House, but I'm not planning any reviews for that right now.
Yeah, I have no intention to watch a handful of the things you listed.
I heard Voltron got bad.
It's same. And I'm already watching one bad anime. I don't need to watch another.
Oh my god.
No, I'm sorry. I've had ideas of dabbling in other anime. quite frankly, no topics that anyone really cares about. So it's hard for the course for me, honestly. But no, I have no intentions of going into any of those ones. Sorry.
I will do a little mini plug for my Patreon. I let you vote on a video topic for the next month. Like, for now is April, and my patrons are voting on the video topic for May. And one of those options is Little Witch Academia. So if you want, become a patron, and it doesn't matter how much you contribute, that you can vote. So
Nice.
go ahead and do that.
Nice.
Do it. I'm gonna plug my channel. I'm working on a video about Fire Emblem. Does anyone care about Fire Emblem?
I do. I do.
Does anyone want to watch my Fire Emblem video that'll be out in 5 years?
I've seen 2 clips of it, and both of them made me ugly laugh.
It's a very serious video. It's not.
Oh, this one is kind of a tangent from before. This
Cool.
is Alfredo O.
Oh, Alfredo!
That's a good name.
I love them! They're delightful.
Favorite RWBY song, which we already covered, and most hated song. What is your most hated RWBY song?
That's gonna be a hard one for me because I don't listen to the soundtrack freely. Oh, never mind, I immediately thought of one, just as I was saying that. The song that plays when, Cinder and
All
Raven are
things
fighting.
must die!
Oh. This is the end!
No one will miss you when you're gone!
This is just one song!
That's really bad.
It's so, it's not even, funny edgy, it's just frustrating edgy.
It's got, no structure. It's verse,
it's
chorus, bridge, guitar, a different bridge, another verse.
It's the song you write in your room when you hate your parents and you're 13.
I have...
No disrespect to any of the 13-year-olds listening. Y'all could probably write better than that song.
Ooh.
It's so... The lyrics are so, oh, what's prose? No one will miss you when you're gone because you suck and I hate you, Mom.
I have 3 that I don't like.
Let me go ahead. Actually,
I don't like Nevermore, which I haven't listened to a lot. It's just I hate the rhyme scheme for it.
what's the plot of that song?
It's like Yang and Blake versus Adam.
When
or
does
something.
it? Oh, that one.
I just hate it because they use the word Nevermore. And despite in the same volume having a song titled, what is that one? That big one with the glowy eyes at the end?
Leviathan?
Indomitable, which was a near impossible word to rhyme. That song makes it work. Nevermore takes Nevermore and just does nothing with, it shoves like a 17-syllable long sentence and then just jam the word Nevermore at the end of it. And I just don't like the structure of that one.
Okay.
Cool.
It's the opening for Volume 7. What is that?
I like that one.
I hate it.
That song.
It feels like 3 songs jammed next to each other.
I dig it. That's cool. That's
And,
fascinating that you don't like it.
And what was my third one?
While you're thinking of your third answer, I'll throw in my least favorite song, Forever Fall Girl.
Ooh, that's a good hateable one.
I don't know.
Forever. It plays when
The
Jean
statue.
finds the statue.
Oh.
It's me forever fall. I don't know how it goes because
It's
it
the
sucks.
fact that it's once again, that scene holds both of your hands and says, "Don't worry, we'll get through this very easy concept together. You're sad. You're sad right now," and it walks with you like, did you know I loved him? Oh, I was going dead.
I was supposed to be the fall maiden, and I love you forever. And
It's
really bad.
It's so lame.
I remembered my third one. It's Bumblebee.
I've
tried. I tried several times, and I'm just like, it's just boring. It's just like, hey, you're a cat.
That's not.
I like you.
It's not.
I'm yellow.
That's
Be my Bumblebee. And I'm like, I just can't get it. The lyrics are just so on the nose, and it's just not boppy enough. It's just, I can't.
That's so interesting.
I just don't like
faces. You guys should see the faces they're making at each other right now. That is very interesting, though, that... because generally we agree on the music in the show, of, which ones are bad and which ones are good. That's very interesting to me that one of your least favorite songs is one of your favorite songs.
Yeah.
By the way, to clarify, Critter's least favorite song is
yes.
Bumblebee.
Yes.
Twiins likes Bumblebee.
Correct.
That's who's talking.
Remember when we said one of the comments is just bread?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funky booty cheeks. That's the first.
Just why?
I don't know. Bread. I liked it. Going down 2 comments, someone else named Edward Grimley just wrote Peridot.
Yeah, I saw
Just
that.
Peridot.
And I don't understand.
And there's like an emoji, but I don't know. It's just it's a black hand with pink nails being painted pink nail polish.
Oh, guys, that's a meme.
Oh, is it?
No.
Oh
I'm old. Oh no, you're old. Oh,
Well, explain it to me
embarrassing.
later.
I just didn't get.
It's just like exciting. Like it's like I can't
started
explain this.
Is this like
isn't
James Charles thing?
No, this is an old. This has been a while. This has been a thing.
Alright.
Alright, and that I think we'll cover it.
What a good note to end on.
And
We're old and dumb.
And there's like a finger painting emoji.
I couldn't.
don't understand.
It was so hard to see. It's so tiny, and I can't like zoom in.
My old eyeballs
So I'm like, what is it even? It looks like a flamingo or something.
Oh no.
So this has been a rather long
Oh,
podcast.
yeah. Hell yeah.
I think it's gonna be like about
Well, it's a good time.
3 hours.
Because y'all are probably in quarantine right now, so it's a good time to have something long to put on.
Yes.
By the way, I hope you guys are staying safe.
Wash your
Staying
hands.
as safe as you can be. Take care and we love you.
Mm-hmm.
That sounded very fake. I meant it. Take care.
And thank you for everyone who left comments, even if we didn't answer them all.
Yeah, and
everyone
even if
who
you just said bread and made Twiins real mad.
confused. Why? It's just thank you for all your theories. Thank you for everything. We might do another one of these sometime. That'd be a lot of fun, I think. If you have ideas of what other podcast topics we could cover, I want to hear those too. And I want to let's wrap things up. I want to give a special shout out to 2 of my patrons. They're my two $10 patrons.
Woo!
James Dodds and Drunk Ann. You guys are really cool. Thank you so much for supporting so much. And yeah, like I said, any contribution, you can get to vote on the future topic, and your name will go in the credits. And there are lots of other fun stuff, so check that out. If you like Allison, which you should, because she is delightful, and
Shucks.
I love her content. There's not a lot,
All 3 of my videos.
but I love all of them a whole lot. So check her out.
I love the way this cake is cut.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
You probably already know Twiins, check her out. Lots of RWBY stuff, plenty of RWBY stuff. I would recommend any of their discussion videos. I'd go with the Adam rewrite one. The Adam rewrite one.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. I thought that one was clever.
Yeah, I
Five
like
Nights
that
at
one
Freddy's one was also a lot of fun.
That one was cool.
Watch the boobs one for a healthy amount of controversy in the comments.
Yeah,
of people.
Don't watch the video,
Of
because apparently no one else did. Just read the comments.
I am amazed by like boobs are really interesting.
Totally
would've
controversial.
Who would have thought?
So, thank you so much for watching this. Any and all thoughts and comments, leave them in the comments below. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye-bye.